Nerdrotic.com.
Once again, let's give it up to the great Perry Chan. What a magnificent person that is. And we need to start out on kind of a somber note. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Nerdrotic Nooner. My name is Gary Beekler. I am right on time and always late. And a bit of possibly the rock guitar god has passed away today. Eddie Van Halen has died at the age of 65, and it was due to cancer. Hashtag fuck cancer. That took my dad. He's had a very complicated life. He was one of the greatest guitar players in one of the biggest bands at its time. It was one of the bands that was my introduction to rock and roll. I don't talk about it as much as I used to on these live streams, but music was as much a part of my life as comics were. I worked in many a record store when I was a youngster right here in San Diego area. And actually one of them was 10 miles that way, the Warehouse. Where? The Warehouse. And up front, I am not a Van Hagar fan at all. I am strictly a Van Halen fan, David Lee Roth guy. But I've always liked Eddie Van Halen. I have actually run into him once, and I'll tell that story. It's brief. We didn't actually talk to each other, and we were both in not in a good place, not in a good situation where I ran into Eddie Van Halen way back in early 90s, late 80s. But this happened while I was setting up the live stream, so that's why he's not in the thumbnail, and I usually don't blather or anything when celebrities die. I didn't know Eddie Van Halen. It's sad to hear he's dead. I wish he was still alive. I can't say it affects me deeply, but definitely rest in peace, sir. I know what I can identify. I watched my father go through cancer, and I was there every step of the way. So I know I don't know what it's like to experience it, but I know what it's like to watch somebody going through it. So, thoughts and prayers to his family and everything. And I just wanted to, if you guys wanted to talk about Eddie, I'm going to talk about it briefly because he was a big deal to me and, my generation and the Pepsi generation, the MTV generation, Generation X. Van Halen was always headlining these huge, ridiculous shows back in the day. And, they were different. To me at the time. Now, the context for what I knew of music at the time was very limited because when they came around, I was 7. It was my sister who introduced them to me. And it's funny, I think we're at the 20-year anniversary of Almost Famous. And I've told this story before. I have an Almost Famous scene in my life. I was a nerd from day one, born and raised, and I was listening to soundtracks. That's my first introduction to music was buying and listening to soundtracks and playing with my action figures and just listening to them over and over and over and over again. And my sister got sick of it one Christmas and she gave me a stack of records, and just like in the movie, I think it's just like in the movie, she plopped them on my bed and said, "Listen to these. Stop listening to that." So she took it off and she gave me a stack of records, which was Van Halen, the Cars, the Police, Oingo Boingo, the Sex Pistols, and oh God, I'm missing one there. I'll think of it. I'll think of the other band because I'm blanking on them right now. I can sing their songs, but I can't think of the name. But it doesn't matter. And I went through all of them, and it was like a door was opened in my life. I'm like, oh my God, this is great. I really was, I liked Van Halen at first, the Police and Oingo Boingo. Those are the ones and the Cars. I just gravitated to all of that. And then that took me down the rabbit hole to much darker, harder stuff. I was a bit of a music snob back in the day, but I always loved old Van Halen. Always. Everybody did Everybody did. So quickly, as people roll in, my story with Eddie Van Halen, I doubt he'd want me telling it, but whatever. Sorry, buddy. He's had a problem with the drugs and the alcohol, just like yours truly. So he was in and out of rehabs probably as much or more as I was. And I can't imagine what it's like being an addict and a rock star. It's amazing. Some of them live this long, to be honest with you, because you have access to so much stuff whenever you want it. I mean, I had to hunt my drugs down. They didn't just come flying to me. I had to find them. And, it's not just something you can walk up to anybody and go, hey, can you get me some crank? You got to work your way in and find the right people. And this was back in the 80s, so there was no cell phones. I think beepers were just starting to come around, so you had to get in the car and hunt them down, making it sound hard. But it was hard. I was very dedicated to my craft, though. I found my shit, and I got a bit of a reputation of being the guy who can get it. If you need it, I was the guy who could get it, and it was just through sheer will and determination that I found my drugs. So I ended up in a lot of rehabs. I ended up at the Betty Ford Center, and that's where I ran into Eddie Van Halen. We did not go into the same building. What I heard, I wasn't there. He could have gone. There's more than one building and more than one group of people. He might have gone to the other one, but what I always heard is he left. So I saw him in the waiting room. I was in the waiting room when I was being received, and I couldn't believe who I saw. And that was the week I saw him and Charlie Sheen there. So, Matt Archibald, the professional surfer, and we hung out, we played croquet, had fabulous lunches, went to some meetings. And after 30 days, back when spring break was just on in Palm Springs, it was just like Florida, I went right out to a party and got loaded with a bunch of people I have never met in my life. I think I borrowed a car to drive home. I left the keys in it, and that person probably retrieved it. I was a bit of a dick. Okay, I borrowed it. I didn't keep it. But yeah, that was messed up. Had to make some amends there. Whew, man, my amends lists are long. So I briefly ran into Eddie Van Halen, and I've always kind of kept track of just his exploits and stuff. And I read part of the Sammy Hagar book, which was a bit of a hit piece because he had a falling out. I remember when Van Hagar started and they talked all this shit about David Lee Roth, and then Van Hagar ended and they talked all this shit about Sammy Hagar, and I ended up liking Sammy. I don't like his music that much, but I like him. And yeah, what a sordid tale. And they could have been such a bigger band if it wasn't for the addiction, which probably caused a lot of the drama. They could have been the Stones, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if they had it in them. And this makes you respect the Rolling Stones. God damn. I mean, they outlasted everybody. I mean, rock is dead, and I think they're still touring. And if it wasn't for the Coof, they'd probably still be touring. They outlasted it all. That is incredible because nobody thought Keith Richards would live this long. But it was cancer that got Eddie. And here, let's go to the article real quick. Get your chat up there, and I'll say hi to everybody. And the regular show will go after we talk about Eddie. I have a lot of stuff to talk about. So welcome, everyone. And again, apologies for starting like this, but you have to acknowledge when this good of a musician, a guitar god, he was unbelievable on guitar. And I know there's so many out there, and people go, well, this so-and-so is better. Sure. But this guy rocked. And the ladies loved him. He was married to Valerie Bertinelli, who was everyone's crush back in the 70s. Everyone's. She got a lot of kids through puberty. And now Eddie's gone. So, and we're going to go to the reputable TMZ for this trash website. But Eddie Van Halen, the legendary guitarist and co-founder of Van Halen, has died after a long battle with throat cancer, TMZ has learned. Sources directly connected to the rock star tell us he died at St. John's Hospital in Santa Monica Tuesday. His wife, Janie, was by his side alongside his son, Wolfgang, and Alex, Eddie's brother and drummer. We're told the last 72 hours, Eddie's ongoing health battle went massively downhill. Doctors discovered his throat cancer had moved to his brain as well as his organs. Yes. Yeah. So my dad, I wonder if this is a normal thing. So my dad went into what we believed was full remission, and it got all our hopes up and stuff. And then we found out like it moved everywhere, and finding that out, like sitting down and talking to your dad and my dad, and it was like the last lucid conversation we had. We tried to have conversations, but he was on morphine after that, so it was tough to get a conversation out of him. But that was that was bad. As you know, Eddie has been battling cancer for well over a decade. Our sources say he's been in and out of the hospital over the past year, including last November, for intestinal issues, and recently underwent a round of chemo, which is brutal. Last year, we reported Eddie was flying between the U.S. and Germany for 5 years to get radiation treatment. Though he was a heavy smoker for years, he believes he developed the throat cancer from a metal guitar pick he used to frequently hold in his mouth more than 20 years ago. Okay. I mean, sure, it could have been both, you know. I can't believe I'm having to write this, but my father, I've never been able to pronounce his middle name, but Edward Ludwig, it's Ludwig, that's right. Ludwig Van Halen has lost his long and arduous battle with cancer this morning. He was the best father I could ever ask for. Every moment I've shared with him on and off the stage was a gift. My heart is broken, and I don't think I'll ever fully recover from his loss. I love you so much, Pop. I'm here to tell you, Wolfgang, you don't recover. You do, but you don't. They're always there. They're always there in the back of your mind. Nevertheless, he continued to attend concerts and rehearse music with his son, Wolfgang, who, if you don't know, became Van Halen's bassist in 2006. Wolfgang mourned his father online, writing, "He was the best father I could ever ask for," and we just read that. I wish I could play you something. I wish I could, but of course, Eddie himself has considered one of the best, most influential guitarists of all time, who first made a name for himself with his solo on Eddie Van Halen's Eruption, which was played as much as Stairway to Heaven. And that's okay. Eddie formed the classic rock group in Pasadena in 1972 with his brother Alex on drums, Michael Anthony on bass, and David Lee Roth singer. Eddie served as the main songwriter on their self-titled debut album in 1978, which launched the group into rock superstardom in the 80s. They went on to pump out hit after hit, including Runnin' with the Devil, Unchained, Hot for Teacher, Panama, and Jump, and continued and Ice Cream Man, and continued their success with Sammy Hagar as lead vocals after the departure of Roth in 1985. While the band had already achieved hard rock superstardom, Eddie became a pop culture icon with the 1983 release of Michael Jackson's Beat It, which featured Eddie's iconic guitar solo. That's right. Beat It had Eddie Van Halen, and China Girl had Stevie Ray Vaughan. Those are good times back then in the early 80s when music mattered. When music was something and it mattered, and it was probably the most important medium out there. We were transitioning a little bit. Film was going through its avant-garde stage with new technology, but music was still king. Everybody wanted to be a rock star or a pop star. Though some members of Van Halen have changed, Eddie and Alex were the constants in the band, with Eddie's acclaimed guitar work being the focal point of the legacy. Van Halen was inducted in Rock and Roll's Hall of Fame in 2007, and Eddie is widely considered one of the greatest guitar players of all time. He is survived by his wife, Janie, and his sons. Eddie was 65. Rest in peace. Edward Ludwig Van Halen. Yeah, it's a bummer. Cancer. Fuck cancer. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. Welcome, everyone. Let's see who's here. Caleb. Hiram. Smoke Banshee. Goonsy. Jake D. Carmine Steele. Fat Gandalf. Jason Wiz. The Geck. Sapphire Blue 328, Chris Persia and his wrench. Thank you for being here with your wrench too, Jake D. Manuel Grail, Lisa Gores, Paul Marino, Shaylock, Tiger Stripes, Jason C, Ramallah Ding Dong, Ramalama Ding Dong. I'm sorry, Ramallah Ding Dong. Cats of Saturn, Kevin Appel, and Sandar Hammerslag. Sounds like something I would try. It sounds like I'm trying to say something drunk there. Welcome, everyone. If you guys have any questions, you want to say R.I.P. Eddie Van Halen, that's cool. You want to talk about Eddie. We're also going to talk about other things. And Hollywood being canceled is one of them. This whole Lord of the... Okay, we talked about it last week. That's why, God, I hate to sound like one of these guys, but I'm going to sound like one of these guys. That's why you tune into the Nerdrotic Nooner, because we hit all this stuff last week, but we'll talk about it again. Lord of the Rings on Prime. I mean, it's going to be woke. It's going to be woke. And as far as nudity is concerned, we're going to discuss it all. There's some House of the Dragon casting, another distraction. I'm going to explain to you how House of the Dragon ruined Game of Thrones and delayed Winds of Winter. You can put almost all the direct blame on the delay of that book, to those two things. I mean, George too, but I'm finding out more and more of why we didn't get certain context to things in Game of Thrones season 8, and it's because they were going to answer it in other shows that will never exist now. So you've got that. And then Joe Rogan versus Spotify. He retweeted a video clowning Spotify, which was a shot across the bow. And it was very encouraging to see that. That's our Joe. That is our Joe, man of the people. So that was encouraging, because we can't lose people, or especially free speech advocates, in this insanely crazy time right now. Of course, Hollywood is going down the crapper right now, at least one facet of it. Don't think it will recover. And it was because they made a boneheaded, selfish, short-sighted, ridiculous decision. And it was made for politics. So they did themselves in. And then, man, we have a lot to talk about today, because then there's Doctor Who. There's this Time Lord Victorious thing. And I was like, I'm going to dive into this, because some of the stuff I believe is out now and I can buy it secondhand. I'm not buying it directly at all. I'm not going to give them a penny of my money. So I had looked for like a concise place to go find everything. And what a goddamn mess. What a complete mess. What a ridiculous mess. And then, of course, if we have time, we can talk a little Star Trek, because Star Trek and Doctor Who both have panels in 42 hours now. 42 hours from now, they both have panels. New York Comic-Con is doing the same thing as Comic-Con did. They're going to release like hundreds of things all at once. Instead of, I don't understand it, instead of staggering them. It's just this ignorance with YouTube. It's like nobody's going to watch this stuff. Like nobody. The ratio is already, by the way, shh. I know everybody wants to blast about the ratio on the Star Trek live stream. Don't say anything. They'll get rid of the chat and the comments. We want them to keep them up. Got it? Understand? I know we want to like rip Star Trek but like, wait, patience. There will be time. But if they closed down the chat and the comments, then what good did it do? So there's that. Patience, everyone. I know. I wanted to too. I wanted to blast it out, and I'm not going to say anything about the Doctor Who one because, like, I want to be in that chat when it's live. I do. So we're going to talk about all of that stuff. This episode is produced by Lady Gravemaster, clips by Perry Chan, and I thank everyone for joining. A reminder, Friday Night Tights is going to have Literature Devil this weekend, this Friday, 2-ish, 2:30-ish Pacific time. And hopefully another hurricane does not hit our friend Jeremy in Florida, because there's one on its way. We actually have rain coming here on Friday. It's going to be crazy. And I am not in San Francisco. I am in San Diego. I do want to warn you all, I have another California video coming out. So before we get started with everything, please like, share, and subscribe. I got to remember to do that on the live streams, because apparently there's a percentage out there who watches and who hasn't subscribed. If you could subscribe, I'm on my way to 300,000. If you could help, I would greatly appreciate it. It's been a fun journey, and we have done this together, and I could not have done it without you. So thank you. But I want to let you know, like, you know, I would define this channel. Obviously, it covers the good, the bad, and the ugly of pop culture, and that's what it will continue to do. But let's face it, there's not going to be a lot of movies to talk about. Now, I don't talk about movies that much anyway. I'll report news. I'll give a review when one comes out, but I am television streaming focused as far as the entertainment that I still want to watch, or a clown that's still being produced. But it's less and less every day. Now, I've got Star Trek coming October 15th. I'll be covering every single episode live after it airs, unless it airs at like 2:30 in the morning. Then it'll be like the next day. But I probably will go live after the first episode, whatever time it is. So if it's 3 in the morning, if you're in Australia and you're up, I'll be live. But after that, it'll be the next day. And I'll be doing videos. I've got the Picard video in the works. It will be out before Star Trek Discovery comes out. I'm going to be doing a boys video. And then I'm going to backtrack and finish The Witcher, because I'm going to have time, because there's not a ton of pop culture news. So I'm going to cover what I'm interested in. Some of it might dabble in other things, but remember, it'll always be pop culture focused. And as far as the politics are concerned, it's impossible to avoid it right now. What I talk about will be concerning what I have personally experienced with politics and how it's adversely affected my life. And if it benefits my life, I'll let you know. But I have a couple California videos in me that I'm going to make. I'm going to put them on this channel. I was playing around with starting another channel. It's like, I don't want to have that responsibility. You know what? Razorfist does it. I can do it too. I could just mix it up on this channel. And just remember that everyone's welcome. I'm never going to tell you who to vote for. That's not my place. And political season will end. And I don't want to discuss it forever. That's the last thing I want to do. But if Hollywood keeps going the way it's going, it's going to be tough, because it's really hard to root for bad people. Bad people. Not everybody's bad. But selfish, bad people run Hollywood. They're the ones in charge. So I'm excluding the innocent parties who are just there for a job, to go work in a craft that they love. We haven't seen that kind of passion in a long time. We're seeing Hollywood shift into influence and propaganda. That's not what it's there for, and it will fail if it continues doing that. And that's what we have been fighting for, and that's what I will continue to fight for. Someday, will the fight be over? I don't know. I take life one day at a time. One day at a time. So let's start with Hollywood. Let's start with Hollywood. everything's being delayed, and that mixes into Batman. And that's the first super chat here. Mikey Gussler for $10 says, seems like the Batman is in production trouble. Pattinson refuses to work out and complains a lot, according to Doomcock. Remember when Affleck got in shape and cared about being the Batman? What happened? Well, I think it got announced last night that it was being delayed till 2022. They delayed the entire I saw a Lethal Lightning tweet last night when I was going to bed, and it just said, well, shit, or well, fuck, or something like that. And it showed that the Batman had been delayed till 2022, and it's because the COOF restrictions are crazy in the UK, and they are always changing. I would move the production. That's what I would do. I would straight up just pull the production out. So that's probably going to cause another delay in filming, but I would move it to New Zealand or someplace that's not going to shut down. But the Batman is delayed. As far as Robert Pattinson, I had questioned his casting from the beginning. I don't think he looks like Bruce Wayne at all. I don't think he's big enough to be Batman. You don't have to be the Hulk to play Batman, but you need to be yoked. You need to be in shape, because verisimilitude. I need to know that, see, the Batman, the one I grew up with, the one I've been reading for 40 plus years on and off, could beat the shit out of 72 ninjas butt-ass naked with the little bat dong flying around. That's Batman. Batman doesn't need armor. He doesn't need any of that shit. He is peak human. That's what he is. Peak human. And he could, that's why he's a member of the Justice League, and he's there with a bunch of metas, because he's peak human. He is a superhero. He is beyond. His superpower is his will, his determination, his drive. That's his superpower. And I just don't see Robert Pattinson having that. Now, people have said he's good in this, he's good in that, and I respect the fact that he's trying to shake the Twilight thing, and I respect the fact that he's a bit of a troll, and he goes out and trolls people. It's all fun. He just came out with an article saying, oh, I really relish in the fact that I could completely screw this up. That is somebody facing their fear. I have no problem with him saying that. Now, it sounds bad out loud, but what he's really doing there is facing his fear. He's like, I could screw this thing up and it's scaring me to death, so I'm going to make light of it. Now, to the public, it doesn't sound great. To Batman fans who realize that this might be their last go around with the Bruce Wayne Batman, I want you to understand that. As far as a white male lead Bruce Wayne Batman, this is probably your last go around for a long time, until society rights itself again and becomes balanced, and we remember we're all equal, and we stop this segregation crap that's going on. And I need to be sold on Robert Pattinson. That's what I said in my trailer reaction, where people were questioning if I knew anything about comics or anything, which is just funny. And I don't know. Listen, I don't know anything. But I could be sold on him. Absolutely. If the movie's good, I will admit it. And I'm open-minded about it, but I'm like, don't like the costume very much. And don't like him in the costume very much. And now it looks like we're going to be able to tell the difference, according to Doomcock. I don't know. The one thing I do know is we're not going to see it till 2022. So we have a lot of time to think about it till then. It does sound like a troubled production, despite what Doomcock's saying. As far as drama is concerned, it's been delayed 3 times. That cannot be cohesive for filmmaking. And it's probably pretty frustrating to Matt Reeves and whoever. Matt Reeves, Jar Jar Abrams disciple, Matt Reeves. Let's keep that in mind. So I could see this being a one and done, just out of frustration. The filmmakers, he's going to be on this film for 3 years. He's going to want to go do something else. I don't think he's going to be down for a trilogy. As a matter of fact, if I was Warner Brothers, I would try to work in a back-to-back situation. If you wanted to get a sequel, maybe work in some extra shots and do a back-to-back thing, because for one, you're going to need some content. And if this is Batman's last go-around, are superheroes going to be a thing in 2022? It kind of looks like they're taking somewhat of a Joker approach towards this film, which is smart, possibly a lower budget, emulating a classic film, I'm okay with that. But I don't buy him as Batman. We'll see. If he's that much trouble, just get rid of him. Just get rid of him. At this point, you might as well recast. They said they got, 15% of the film shot? Recast his ass. You've already lost a ton. And if you get it right, you'll make your money back. But if you get it wrong, you won't. But they won't. They won't. They'll stick with him. There's probably a contract involved. And if that's true, if he's really like not working out and said something, I remember he mentioned something about James Dean. That was a few months back. We talked about it. That's lame. It's lame. And I don't want Batman to be lame. I would be very interested to see a 7 like Batman. If they went rated R with it, that would be something new. That would be something new. So, but I've already made myself clear on Batman, and it's not the most popular opinion, but I think we should emulate the animated series. And I want an established Batman with Robin, with Alfred, with the Bat family, with the full rogues gallery of villain, with the functioning Batcave, with a functioning freaking Bat plane and Bat boat and Batmobile. I want it all there because we haven't seen that. And since this is our last go around, let's do it. I think we might have gotten that with Affleck, although Robin was dead. Nobody wants to do Robin. I freaking love Robin. I love Robin. I think Robin's very important to the character. Robin's the thing that keeps Batman tethered to something so he doesn't turn into Frank Castle or something like that. Because think about it. I mean, it's comics, but if he's sitting there fighting the worst of the worst every day and he's just making like little bits of progress, even the most willed and determined person in the world, that would get to you. And that's why Robin came in as a gimmick. And of course, in the 50s, they made lots of alphabet innuendos in those comics to clown the comics code. But it ended up working later on. All right. It did. It really did. So whatever's happening behind the scenes, Warner Brothers, don't F this up. That is your most valuable property. Your single most valuable property outside of having access to Harry Potter is Batman. Is freaking Batman. So don't screw it up. You're already screwing up Superman. The fact that Henry Cavill doesn't have a 3-picture deal lined up right now, and it would just like Henry is so hot right now. If you want to get women to the movie theater, you work your way towards another Justice League movie as fast as you can with Jason Momoa and Henry Cavill. Done. And they're having a hard time with this. Is why Hollywood is crashing and burning right now, because there are surefire projects that they could make right now. Sony could do a multiverse and bring back I said this before. Hollywood's going to need sure things. I would do everything in my power if I was Sony to bring back Sam Raimi, to get Tobey Maguire, get his ass in shape, get Kristen Dunst, get everybody, and let Sam Raimi do a Spider-Man 4. Give him a do-over. Give the man a do-over. Let him finish that series. And everybody would go. It would excite everybody. Freaking Antifa would like this movie. Okay? So, yeah, Henry Cavill, they mentioned The Witcher yesterday, and I heard all the ladies from here. Now, of course, Witcher Season 2 is probably going to have, like, Henry Cavill in it for 5 minutes, but, we'll see. Well, I hope not. But I'm watching Boys Season 2, and I've watched Umbrella Academy Season 2, and the only thing that's left, kind of, is Cobra Kai. So Culture Casino, Crazy Cat Guy, and Crazy Cat Guy all left super stickers, a phallic unicorn, an ice cream, and a cat that says, or a dog that says, how's it going, for $1.49, $1.49, and $3. Thank you. Now that it's an official live stream. So in my last video, we had the Regal Cinemas thinking about shutting down. AMC said they're staying open, which is good. And I discussed in my video F Hollywood. Hollywood does not get a bailout. They do not get any money from us until they try to bail themselves out first. If you want me to be sympathetic, because I am, to the theater owners and to the people who lost their jobs, but that was months ago. They have all moved on, and it's a bad bet. It is a gamble. We don't know if theaters are going to work, and they want to spend our money. This isn't an endless pot of money. I saw a Critical Drinker tweet last night, which was great. It said all the people who were wanting us to be basically locked down for the rest of our lives are now complaining that they've 500,000 jobs have been lost in the UK. Same people are complaining. Like they think, the magic money pot is going to make things happen out of stuff and things. That's not how things work. I'm sure there are people on Twitter who are who think that they are actually productive members of society by changing their avatars and adding emojis to their descriptions. And that's what they do all fucking day. You actually add nothing. You actually are a suck on the system, a drain on the system. We have a bunch of bored people. If they see you down there, they're going to think things, babe. My wife's head pops up from under the desk. I'm all, I'll be a minute, guys. No, I'm just kidding. To bring me. Where was I? I was mad. Hang on. I'm like, what are you doing down there? Hey now. Okay. Hollywood wants money from us. And the answer is no. And I know it's the theaters, and I know they don't own the theaters. They can now. Go ahead. Fix the antitrust. I don't give a shit. You are a still functioning billion-dollar industry. Last time I checked, you're still making billion. The most expensive television show in history is being shot as we speak, and we are going to talk about it in a little bit. Lord of the Rings, and it's going to be more expensive when it's done. Don't tell me you're hurting for money. Why don't you take one of James Cameron's 18 Avatar sequels and not make it and buy a theater chain? I don't know. Why don't you crowdfund some of your billionaire buddies? I don't give a shit how you do it. Why don't you shake down the Church of Scientology? You all need theaters. You all need theaters for you to survive right now. And you weren't ready for the direct to consumer market now, were you? You were all rushing to get there because you had that cushion, a good economy, and there's going to be a day where we're going to look back and go, God damn, our economy was so good. Captain Marvel made $1 billion. I mean, we were just crapping money. I understand why people think there's this magic money pot and the people will make things out of stuff and things, because Captain Marvel made $1 billion. I can see how that can skew reality a little bit. That ain't going to happen ever again. Calling it right now. Captain Marvel 2, Disney Plus. I don't know, maybe, but it's not going to make $1 billion. But they need movie theaters. Well, go get them. Go get them. Go get them, Tiger. It's all you. They delayed all of these movies because they know you and I are going to fucking bail them out. And they already have this. They have this giant bailout package, the CARE Act. It's like $1 trillion, fucking $1 trillion of made up money. It's based on nothing, by the way. And 10 billion went towards like live stages and stuff, which I'm fine. If the local governments shut them down and they had no choice and they wanted to go to work, then God, it's hard for me to say it because I'm a bit libertarian. So yes, the government should help them. But yes, I think the government should help them. My wife took PPP money to pay her employees. We wanted to keep our employees paid. And that's why we did it. We were offered nothing. We have asked for nothing. London Breed doesn't even know who the hell we are. We are just one of the 54% of businesses that have closed down forever in San Francisco. And, I try not to talk about it because, I'm sure it's what my wife thinks about every day. So I'm trying not to like bum her out, and her spirits have been really good lately, but there are moments, man. There are moments. And I know there's millions of you out there who lost a job that you just got that you fucking loved, or lost a job you were at for 20 years that you loved, or just missed out on your pension because you were let go too soon. Or people are losing pensions left and right because the businesses aren't around anymore. But you know what? All the union employees are okay on the tax dollar. And last time I checked, with those 500,000 jobs lost in the UK, I think there's one or two government programs over there. So I'm not sure how that's going to work when you've lost 500,000 jobs. Just saying. Same goes for here in California. And as much as San Francisco doesn't like that capitalism, San Francisco's capitalism personified. That town is built on it and thrives on it, and it had a killer economy. I mean, they honestly could have paid for the Poop Patrol. They could have doubled their salary. Things were good in San Francisco. Let me tell you how good things were in San Francisco. The rent has dropped 24%. And of course, San Francisco's celebrating it. We got rid of all those people, and now we have cheap rents again. You know what the medium rent is now? It dropped 24% to $2,600 a month for a fucking studio. So it didn't drop that much, but it's still dropping, and landlords are screwed, and they can't rent to anybody. And I would not buy property in that town. And if you have a chance to sell your building and get out. Get out of big cities. There's rent control in San Francisco, and it's good luck kicking somebody out if they just want to stay for the rest of their lives. No. But I digress. Buy your own fucking movie theaters. Do it. I know there's something that's keeping him from doing it. Get rid of it, and we'll deal with the consequences later. There might be some shenanigans with movies. Well, let me tell you, there's already shenanigans with movies. Captain Marvel made $1 billion. Captain Marvel made $1 billion. It's ridiculous. The only saving grace is it was just a little over a year ago today that Joker came out. I'm going to watch it again this weekend because it's great and I love it. So Hollywood is screwed. And yes, we're bailing out Tom Hanks, Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro. We're not just, and possibly some part-time jobs that were furloughed and now they're gone. And I don't know what Regal said they're going to do. If they shut down for 6 months, they can't, are they going to pay out of their employees? They're going to let them go. Are they going to even reopen? I don't know how they stay in business. They're going to get a bailout, but what happens after that? What happens when they open up and nobody wants to go to a movie theater? And there's lots of reasons. There's going to be, I discussed this on The Inquisition. There's going to be a group of people who are never going to leave their houses again. They're maybe they suffer from anxiety or whatever. This just made it all worse. So they're not going to leave their houses for a long, long time. I'm not shaming anybody. Like if you're a normie and you took a steady dose of the mainstream media and it's got you a little freaked out, I get it. Turn that shit off. I go outside every day. I'm careful, but I go outside every day. I'm not scared. I'm just flat out not. I can't live like that. No way. I've already been locked up. Not going to be locked up again. That's why I'm getting the hell out of here. So I don't want to sound totally cold to Hollywood because Hollywood was a place I loved, but I don't anymore. Falling out of love with Hollywood quite a bit. I'm diving into old things. I'm thinking about what I'm going to do with my channel. I'm going to continue doing what I do. Listen, we went through this before in the beginning of the lockdown. We're like, what are we going to talk about? Well, we had plenty to talk about. There was no shortage of things to talk about. So there'll be no shortage of things to talk about. As long as there's celebrities doing things stupid, there'll be no shortage. And if they stop doing things stupid, great. We'll go do lore videos or something. I don't know. We'll do something. But I don't know. All my life, I've never had I haven't been speechless that much. I've always found something to talk about. Nerd Cookies for $5. Hi, Gary. I'm struggling to find solid evidence that the casting call is specifically tied to the Lord of the Rings show. The casting agency handles lots of projects. When things come from the onering.net, they are scoopers. So they're saying that it is, and I trust them. They've been around for a long, long time. Here's the deal. When it comes to nudity with Lord of the Rings, there's nudity in Lord of the Rings. There's nudity in the first book, in the Fellowship of the Ring. Tom Bombadil. Tom Bombadil is a guy most people who haven't read the books haven't heard of because he's been cut out of everything, basically. He's a character that the hobbits run into after they're in the Barrow Downs, a scene that they cut out, which I wish they didn't. Where the hobbits encounter the Barrow Wights. Does that sound familiar? White Walkers, Barrow Wights. Yeah, George R. R. Martin got all of his ideas from Tolkien and thought he could do them better. You're Tolkien's bitch, George R. R. Martin. Tolkien's bitch is all I'm saying. J.K. Rowling's bitch too, to be honest with you. So that being said, they take on some Barrow Wights. They almost get killed by the undead. They get saved by Tom Bombadil. They run around naked in a field and that's how you get rid of the bad spirits. But it's innocent naked. It's like 50s naked. Okay. There was a scene in The Hobbit where the dwarves are snapping themselves in the butt with like a locker room scene. That's Lord of the Rings nudity. And the onering.net explained it as well. That's how it is. It's innocent. There's nothing sexual about it. This is Tolkien. This is not Jeff Bezos's interpretation of Tolkien or McKay or whatever Jar Jar Abrams interpretation of Tolkien. If there's that kind of nudity, it's probably has something to do. I'm forgetting her name. I'm forgetting her name now. She's in the sea. I'll think of her name later. She might be naked. I mean, there might be that kind of nudity, like godly nudity, but it's not going to be Game of Thrones. Like they're not going to be getting it on. There is incest. There is drape. In the Second Age, there is horrible violence, but it's not like Game of Thrones. It's nowhere near Game of Thrones. It's only mentioned in everything. The untold tales and stuff are more histories for the most part. For the most part, not all, but for the most part. And there's a lot of room for interpretation, but they have to do it within the realm of Tolkien and his ideas, his very Christian ideas, his religious ideas, we'll say. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. What I would worry about is them sneaking it in like they did in The Hobbit. They snuck wokeness in The Hobbit by cucking Legolas. Badly. Hate that. There's things I love about The Hobbit, the movies, and there's things I friggin' hate. But Nerd Cookies, you're right. Thank you for the $5. It might not even be attached to Lord of the Rings. But if it is, I wouldn't worry too much about it, to be honest with you. I think there's other things we need to worry about, Nerd Cookies. We need to worry about Bad Robot's involvement. That's something we need to genuinely worry about. And that's not a rumor. That's a fact. There is, I think, 9 people I counted involved from Bad Robot. The showrunners, including the showrunners. That's bad. Fisting with Henman for £2. Release the Toivalanche cut. Maybe. Oh, you might see one. If the temperature changes, if it gets a little hotter in here, one of the panels will fall. There's not much I can do about it. Not much I can do. What about the Friday Night Tights Exozone special crossover on the 30th for Halloween? Hashtag rest in peace EVH. Rest in peace Eddie Van Halen. What is it? I don't know what day Halloween falls on. Hang on. Oh yeah. No, I can't. I can't. I mean, I can't do Exozone without Doomcock. I won't. So yeah, we'll do so. We have some plans for Friday, but Flashy Vic, Lady Gravemaster has plans for Halloween's Friday Night Tights. Stay tuned. Modalicious for $2. Rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. Hail. Yeah. Oh, good to hear you, Gary. My night got less boring. Butter Biscuit 92 for $2. Man, that does a heart good. That's so much better than hearing you're so boring, which I've heard a lot, to be honest with you. And it's okay. If you ever go to protest and get paper sprayed, please let us know so we can say, "Hail Gary, full of mace." Gawker's death rattle for 5 Canadian pesos. If I'm going to protest, it'll be protesting. It'll probably be free speech, but yeah, I'm not going to go out and I'm not a sign maker and nah. If they lock us down, if they like try to like straight up do shelter in place again, can't promise anything. Because fuck no. I mean, flat out, fuck no. Darkstar 76 for $5. Damn, Eddie Van Halen, he could be an ass sometimes, especially to Dave and Sammy, and later to Michael Anthony. But as a guitarist myself, the man was a god to us. Rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. Yeah, Darkstar, he was an asshole to David Lee Roth, who by all accounts was David Lee Roth. Like, he's just this, like, he's always on. He's a party animal, but he wasn't a bad guy, right? And I don't think Sammy Hagar was necessarily a bad guy. And Michael Anthony was like the nicest, stuck with them forever, and they just wanted to get their kid as bass player. And instead of handling it professionally, they got drama and got mad. Yeah, Alex, I don't like Alex. Alex is a good drummer. I think the guy's a dick. But still, fuck cancer, and I feel bad for him. P.S. Fuck cancer. It took some people close to me. My dad has it now. My Grams had it. Fuck cancer. Oh, Darkstar 76 for $5. Prayers to Grammy and Dad. Enjoy their company, man. And I'm sure you are. Enjoy their company. Yeah. Reminds me, I got to go visit my pop's grave. It's been a moment. Speaking moistly, for 5 Canadian pesos, my mom died of cancer. It's a horrible disease. The treatment is just as bad as the disease. It's hard to watch a strong loved one wither away. It certainly is. And it makes you appreciate life so much more. That was a paradigm shift in my life. And when my dad died, I felt like I had lost a tether forever. Like, I could rely on him he and I didn't talk for years. I was straight up your stereotypical, my dad's a dick and he's the source of all my problems. Well, I got over that, realized I was the source of all my problems. And then we became the best of friends, and he was the best dad in the world. And we had a great relationship right up until we died. So we were able to reconcile, and then we did everything together. He was my golfing buddy. We went to football. We went to the baseball. We had season tickets to the Padres. Congratulations, by the way, getting in the playoffs. And Chargers. And we did everything. Went on vacation. It was a blast. It was great. And I missed him. So when he was gone, that's when I moved up to San Francisco. I just said, I need a change in my life. And it's weird coming back down now. It's like I never left. I recognize this place. I know this place like the back of my hand. I know all the back roads, everything. In San Francisco, I was using GPS for freaking 7 years till I figured out the place. And I still didn't entirely figure it out. But here, man, it's back home. So it's nice. John Wayne drinks SJW Tears for $5. Van Halen's music helped me get through so much in my life, and this news is devastating. Rest in peace, Eddie. Fuck off 2020. And that's something we talk about a lot here, John. Wayne Drinks, SJW Tears, thank you for the $5. Escapism. And it's important. Now, I'll say, I'll give adult pretenders a lot of shit because that's what they do. But in all seriousness, they do serve a purpose. And, like radio shows, Howard Stern is as disappointed as much as I hate him right now because he betrayed us all. That dude got me through all kinds of stuff. I mean, like fun, I listened to him at work, and music like Van Halen, Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd was on constant rotation on my Walkman and then my CD Walkman back when I was homeless, and I would get completely loaded and listen to Animals over and over again. I get lost in that album, but it was like my comfort place, and it would just take me away for a minute and take my mind off of I'm sleeping under a bush in Encinitas. I am the biggest loser of all time because I'm in like this Southern California town and I'm from a middle class family, and I blew all that for drugs, So like, yeah, it can take your mind away from things and ease the pain a little bit, and it helps you survive. It does. And if you live, like Tyrion Lannister said in Game of Thrones, when Jaime Lannister said, I'd rather die when talking about Bran, Tyrion's all, I'm more about life. It's more opportunities. And I agree with that. To paraphrase Razor, if you take Lamy, we riot. Dark Star for $2. Yes. And hail Razor, congratulations on your book. I'll get if one of the Nerdrotics could get the link for his book so you can pre-order it. I'd love to give it a shout out. There's a couple books we got to shout out, but yeah, you can. I have already pre-ordered Razor's book, and it looks really good, and I'm excited about it. And just his passion for noir is second to none. And I would invite him to the Noir Film Festival because I was going to take Doomcock this year too. I mean, it's in San Francisco, which sucks, but it is like the best film festival, except I know Razor hates the guy who hosts it, Eddie Mueller. But the actual festival is good. Like the movies are great. Another 2 hours of trucking left. Thanks for being constant. Have you ever been in a? Have you ever been in a Turkish prison? Cheers, buddy. Thank you, Christian Delorme, for 5 Canadian pesos. I've never been in a Turkish prison. I've been in a Tijuana jail, which probably is just as bad as a Turkish prison, to be quite honest with you. Oh, man, this thing jumped on me. Okay, so next article we're going to go to. And again, rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. Oh, yeah, I want to talk about this. Where did it go? There it is. Joe Rogan, briefly, is free speech. I know it's another podcaster. I know not everybody's into Joe. I like Joe. I go down the rabbit hole for the Joe Rogan clips. That's another thing I might do is we do have some. I asked for this and people have responded. I haven't had time to look, but I am going to start doing clips of all the live streams. So we're going to do something with that, whether it's going to be on Nerdrotic Live or something different. I don't know. And probably this weekend I'll look over the clips and see who gets the job, But I love Joe. And I was disappointed when I heard nothing from him when when he went over to the Spotify, it's missing Alex Jones, Sargon, all kinds of shit. And they can't say it's the top 10 episodes because the Randall Carlson stuff's there and the Graham Hancock stuff there. And that's some of the biggest live streams. But the right-wing people are missing. And it's obvious. It's freaking obvious. So there must be some loophole somewhere that, because they're in breach. They have to be in breach. Joe Rogan said everything was going to go over. It didn't go over. He's been silent about it. That's probably the smart thing to do. But I was getting a little upset because we can't lose him. You know, it's not like I wasn't going to sleep at night or anything, but I was bummed. I was like, man, you know, got it. And I still don't think it's a good move to go over there. Personally, I think once he's off YouTube, like that's it. But he got $100 million, man. Can't blame him. That being said, he restored my faith by doing this. He put out a tweet of a video. I forgot what this guy's name is. It is... Here, I'll just click on it. I don't care. It is... What's this guy's name?
As Spotify employees, we're demanding the executives allow us to edit and censor Joe Rogan's podcast, or we are walking out.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
No, stop. He's spreading hate and must be stopped. He's transphobic. He always talks about how he likes trans people, which means he doesn't love trans people, which means he hates trans people.
Hateful Joe Rogan has built a massive audience because people enjoy and respect what he and his guests have to say. But who knows better than his audience what they want to hear? We do.
Instead of hearing what Joe has to say, his audience would rather hear what we want him to be able to say.
His audience just isn't intelligent enough to know what they want to hear. But luckily here in the SJW wing, we can think for them because we're highly intelligent people.
Well, kind of. I identify as a cat. But the executives at Spotify won't cater to our demands. It's almost like they value a $100 million asset more than a $49,000 asset.
These high-level business executives just don't know how to do business. I mean, do a lot of people listen to Joe Rogan's podcast?
Yes.
But would even more people listen to a heavily censored version of that same podcast?
Also yes.
Me.
Our demands are that Joe Rogan cannot be broadcast talking about the following: trans issues, because he's transphobic.
Women, because he's a man, which means he's not a woman.
So yeah, he tweeted this out, and I mean that's ballsy right there. Telling me that, I mean, he's pretty comfortable in his contract, or he just doesn't give a fuck. Either way, that was a good move. I liked it. I was very happy with it. And fuck Spotify. And of course they're there. And listen, there's all kinds of salty shit on Spotify and salty like right-wing stuff on Spotify. Easy to find. They're just picking Joe for some reason, who's like tame, seriously tame when it comes to some of the stuff I watch. You know, unfortunately, there are certain things we can't talk about. I promise you, there will be a day I'm going to go ahead and talk about them anyway, but that's when I have my backup plan worked out. And it's just a couple of things, and one of it, you know, and we do the exozone stuff, but there's salty shit I listen to, and it's on Spotify. It's there. I don't think it's that great, to be honest with you. I don't know. I listen to all my stuff on YouTube. I don't like look for podcasts on iTunes. I know a lot of people listen to them. I just don't. There's plenty on. I enjoy everybody who uses the hashtag the Phantom Menace. I'm way too busy listening to all those live streams. But this was encouraging, very encouraging. Whether you thought that was funny or not, at least he tweeted it. At least it was good. We'll find out what happens. This drama is not over. It's just getting started. And hopefully Spotify just lets the SJW strike. By all means, strike. Go ahead. I would love to see that happen. It reminds me when the comic industry wanted to unionize. It's like, oh, please do. Oh, yes. Gail Simone, Heather Antos, go strike. Go be a union and strike as long as you want. Oh, yeah, there is some Heather Antos news. She it was all over Twitter a couple days ago. She got a tattoo and she put up her wrist and she said, "I got this tattoo for my dog Flash." And it's a Shazam lightning bolt, a Captain Marvel lightning bolt, and not a Flash lightning bolt. and she just got roasted. I'm blocked, so I found out about it like third hand. But yeah, fake Geek Girl. I remember if you would have said fake Geek Girl, people, they would clutch their pearls and go, "Oh my God!" No, she's a fake Geek Girl. She is there strictly because that's what's popular right now, and she will be gone soon because the time of the superhero is, as far as superhero du jour, is over. It's over. It'll still be immensely popular for a while, but it being the thing, it's done. It's done. Again, it'll always be around, but it won't be the thing anymore. We're heading towards a new thing, whatever it is. Whatever it is. I'm okay with that. Like I'm going to be there. I've always said, we as nerds, we as Doctor Who fans, Star Trek fans, Star Wars fan, we're worried about the future because you fucking posers aren't going to be around in a couple of years. You're going to go on to your other things and do whatever. I'll bring up this equation again. The lug, lesbian until graduation. Girl goes to college, is a lesbian for 3 to 4 years, even militant at some times, and then they graduate and get married and have kids. I can't tell you how many times I've seen it. As a matter of fact, I have a relative who did that, who did that very thing, a lug. And that relative has told me what a lug is. So that's what is going on right now. Once all the posers are done, they're going to move on to go whatever is popular next. And the stuff we loved, ashes, broken. Just imagine a field of fire after the fire's out. That's what we're left with. That's what the thing. I'm like, oh my God, I used to love this thing. And here's a piece of it right here. It's just a little piece. And now it's gone. And now it's gone. So Joe, I just wanted because I was getting pretty down on him. I'm not anymore. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt, but it was seriously looking like he sold out. Now he did sell out. He did. Like he got $100 million. He sold out. I'm not going to blame him for that. I'm really not. I would sell out for $100 million too. Now, what's $100 million going to be worth? It might be nothing. I don't know. Hopefully not. We got to see how things go. Now let's go to, what are we going to do next? Do we want to do, let's tackle this. I guess the Prez has returned to the White House. He's better. That's good. He didn't die of terminal coof. Celebrities are saying stupid shit. Josh Gad. Who the fuck is Josh Gad? And why does he think he's important all of a sudden? Here's another Hollywood celeb who makes a blanket statement calling a religious group of people Yahtzees. Just like I don't even want to show it because it's very specific and it's stupid. You know, Zvi Lebetkin, who is a rabbi who watches this channel. He has a channel of its own. Go check it out. Talks about Doctor Who. He's been called a Yahtzee time and time again. I mean, so have I, but I'm not a rabbi. All right, so let's look at this Warner schedule delay first, and then we'll get to the Lord of the Rings thing because this is big news. The Batman delayed till 2020. Matrix 4 release moved up. The Batman will no longer hit theaters in 2021 in another major release calendar overhaul. Warner Brothers has delayed the comic book adventure and a number of other movies, including The Flash and Shazam 2. The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson as the Cape Crusader, Oh my God, they said Crusader. That reminds me of the Crusade, which was evil and bad, and it was the colonial, well, it wasn't even colonial, it was imperialism and culture appropriation. And I don't care if it was like 900 years ago, I'm still affected by it. Had been scheduled for October 1st, 2021. It's now set to open on March 4th, 2022. As reported earlier on Monday, Dennis Villeneuve, I'm going to get his name wrong. Villeneuve. Dennis Villeneuve. Sci-fi epic Dune is no longer premiering on December 18th and will instead move on to October 1st, 2021, date previously held by the Batman. I'm going to get angry about this again, just to let you know. I'm feeling it. These fuckers, man. Other significant shifts include the Lana Wachowski directed Matrix 4, showing several months earlier than expected. The upcoming sci-fi thriller, which sees the return of Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss, had been set to open April 1st, 2022, and is now debuting on December 22nd, 2021. Okay. The studio also plans to release 2 yet-to-be-announced films on June 3rd, 2022, and August 5th, 2022. In turn, The Flash, starring Ezra Miller. Didn't he choke a pregnant woman? Or was it just she looked pregnant? I listen. Maybe it was just a big coat. I'm sorry. But didn't he choke a woman? What happens if James Woods does that? Jail? I think he'd be in jail. Yeah, I know it's in Iceland, but still. I'm just trying to think of a right-wing actor or even a centrist actor. What if a male what if a male actor did? I just said that. Well, he is kind of. But you know what I mean. What if a non-alphabet actor did it? Vacated his June 3rd, 2022 slot and moved to November 4th, 2022. Meanwhile, Shazam 2 has been pushed from its November 4th, 2022 date and will instead open on June 2nd, 2023. Elsewhere, superhero adventure Black Adam, previously set for December 22nd, 2021, and video game adaptation Minecraft, originally slated for March 3rd of 2022, has been taken off the release calendar entirely. Other than Dune, Warner Brothers says the latest release date shuffle is because of production delays after mandated shutdowns in March due to the pandemic. Several Hollywood movies have been given the green light to start shooting after, but there have been numerous hiccups in the process. For one, the Batman had to suspend filming in the United Kingdom days after it went back to production because Pattinson tested positive for the coof. He was cleared to go back to work at the end of September, the upcoming Matrix sequel. So he tested positive for the coof and he came back. So he tested positive on the 3rd, quarantined for a couple weeks, and then he came back and started filming. So he's okay. So he didn't die. Okay. How come? I mean, I know some people share their experiences. I guess I just don't hear them that much. I've heard some people say in the chat they've got it. It sucks for a little while, then they get over it. Some people have said it's really bad, but that's rare. That's rare, and I know people get hospitalized for it. So, yeah, I don't know. The upcoming Matrix sequel, on the other hand, was completed earlier than expected. Currently, really? They shot that awfully good. It might be special effects heavy. You would think that would be a complicated movie to do. That would be interesting to see. Currently, Wonder Woman 1984 is still set to release on December 25th, 2020, not for long. Along with Pixar's Soul, The Gal Gadot-led superhero sequel is one of the only notable movies that hasn't entirely given up on 2020. For movie theater owners, the lack of new product to entice audiences is devastating. Nearly 70% of the U.S. cinemas have resumed operations since March, including venues in New York and Los Angeles, but with lower than expected ticket sales. Well, because they don't have anything. They don't have anything. If they had something, they would be making some money. They will not make as much money as they would have liked to have made, but they need to make some money. You need to create some form of revenue stream to help out the theaters. Yes, Hollywood, I'm asking you to sacrifice 5 or 6 of your blockbusters. You can afford it. You can write it off as a loss. There's all kinds of shit you can do to get your money back if that's what you're really fucking worried about. But no. We don't have to worry about any of this because the American taxpayer, some of us who've had to shut down our fucking businesses, if a 1/10 of a cent of my money goes to something that's pretend, so some rich fuck in Hollywood can make a cute couple of extra bucks, I'm going to be pissed. Fuck billionaire sports owners. Fuck billionaire studio owners. Bail yourself out. Sell a mansion. Sell a plane. Sell an intellectual property. I know that's not how things are normally done. And I will remind you of what you like to tell us and your news media likes to tell us. These are unprecedented times. It requires unprecedented action. Because tell you what, shit goes on too fucking long, there is going to be no pot. This endless pot of money. It won't be there. Try not to act like the fucking idiots in the chode or running around the streets calling it just property or these are just jobs. Anybody out there who said it's just property, sell your shit or give it away. Better yet, give it away. Go to some go to any neighborhood. Pick one that the median income is a little lower than yours and give away all your shit if it's just stuff. Please. Let anybody let some homeless people live in your apartment. Just stuff. Get fucked. So already, Cineworld, the company that owns movie theater chain Regal, announced plans to shutter theaters in the U.S. and the UK. So again, and I hate to repeat this over, but I really don't, because there was actual resistance to what I was saying. Now, I don't expect it to happen. The things I'm bringing up, I don't expect to happen. It's a fucking fantasy. I understand that they will get their bailout from you and I. Totally understand it. I am voicing my dissent. I am absolutely against it. I have no control over any of this shit. They're going to get my fucking money. They're going to get your fucking money. But I'm not going to sit there and just go, well, they got my money, I'm going to be quiet about it. Fuck no, I'm not going to be quiet about it. And yeah, they can save their own ass. They're not essential. My wife was told for months she wasn't essential. And then we found that San Francisco wasn't essential. It wasn't essential for us. It wasn't essential for me to keep paying for politicians who fucked over my wife's life. London breed, by the way. An up-jumped secretary. Got in the office when Mayor Ed Lee died. Had absolutely no experience, and it shows. in absolutely everything she does. She's smug as fuck, though. But you know what? I feel bad for the DC fans out there, because I truly believe that this was their moment, that this was DC's moment to beat Marvel. I think Marvel's vulnerable right now. And isn't it interesting? I love the Marvel versus DC thing. Oh, great. Another Photoshop update is available. The Marvel versus DC thing played out in real life. And now we're going to get 2 movies with multiverses. That's, by the way, that's when you know the superhero party is almost over. We're at the multiverse place, and they haven't even completely, DC hasn't constructed a universe yet to deconstruct. So why the fuck not at this point? Marvel has constructed a universe and then destructed it, but it's still not fully constructed. You're missing the Fantastic Four and the X-Men. And what Marvel fails to recognize, and this is going to be their biggest mistake, and believe me, it's 1,000% certain that they're going to make this mistake. The X-Men, and more importantly, the Fantastic Four, are not going to look like they do in the comic books. And if they don't look like what they do in the comic books, they will not succeed like Iron Man or Captain America. I can't remember what YouTuber thought that Marvel could repeat its success from Endgame. Really? I'm here to tell you they won't even half that success. They won't even make half as much. They'll be lucky if they make half as much. Now, if they made the Fantastic Four look like Jack Kirby's Fantastic Four, and if the X-Men, there's X-Men you can play with, you know. But if they're doing with the X-Men, which I think I know what they're going to do with the X-Men, then it won't be the X-Men. You'll hear the rationalizations. Listen, I've always said this, create new characters. If you want to take like a B-level character and mess around with it, a C-level, I'm okay with that. Personally, I'm okay with that. But the icons, you don't mess with. But they're going to, because Marvel knows better. Kevin Feige is starting to like the smell of his own farts. Now, he hasn't made many mistakes, I'll say that, but I think he's about to. And it's amazing that we haven't heard anything about the Fantastic Four or the X-Men. Like nothing. You think they would be in a hurry to cast that and to get that going. And they're going to have to be now. Because we're going to have 2 years without a Marvel movie. And and one of those years, Mulan, camps you have to concentrate in, Disney falling apart. Yeah. Disney does not have a very good image. And as hard as I was on the South Park special, in the first half, I was laughing my ass off at the Randy Mickey scenes where Mickey is in an alley high effing a bat. That is gold. Absolute gold. And if I could put that clip in front of every single video I make till the end of time, I would. I'm going to sneak it in. I'm figuring things out about the algorithm that I can sneak things in without getting in trouble. Hey, Netflix was just indicted in Texas for cuties. The Quartering just put out a video. Nikolai Streeter, thank you for the information there for $5. It's a symbolic. I think that's great. It's symbolic. They can't do anything. And I'm frustrated by that whole thing. I am frustrated by some people I know and respect being okay with normalizing that stuff. And that's a bottom line with it. So if you're out there and you're defending it, you're down with normalizing this stuff. And you're flat out wrong. You could come on and debate me on it if you like. But context doesn't matter. Again, with that film, if you hit the mute button, how much context are you getting? But people are just afraid to criticize black female directors right now. Scared to death. Scared to death. And you know what that is? That's a form of bigotry. Gonna age myself. 1984 was my first live concert. 15 years old and loved it. Ears didn't stop ringing for 2 days afterward. Vintage Comic Love for $5. Hail, I saw them that year as well. I was, I'm a year younger than you then. I was 14. My first concert was Kiss. I was 9. Dynasty Tour. I think it was the first time I got a contact high. Thank you for the $5. Nikolai Streeter, thank you for becoming a member at the proto-molecule level. I appreciate you. Elizabeth Barlow, this is awful. My father was bailed out of jail with the few guys after a concert by Eddie. He still has the signed album. No shit. Oh, I want to know that story. Could you email me? That's freaking brilliant. Here's the deal. We got a bunch of the bad news on Eddie. We probably didn't hear enough of the good news. What are all our lives? I mean, not to get too, I don't know what the word is for it. But, I listen, if people saw me just at a certain time in my life, their context for me would be horrible. Like I would be the worst asshole imaginable. Because I was at that point in time. So, yeah, I don't want to judge Eddie. Eddie was a human. He had his flaws. He suffered, and it's not a flaw, by the way. Sorry. To suffer from the disease of addiction is not a flaw. It's something you're born with. It sucks. And once I recognize I have it, it is on me to take care of it so I don't become a drain on the system, a drain on other people's lives. That's my responsibility. So there's still that. But I empathize with the struggle, and it's a struggle, and it's one that has, quite frankly, people are still prejudiced towards that struggle. You come out and you hear like, it's just the weak-minded. I disagree. I can explain to you someday why it's not. It's not. It does not relieve you of responsibility, though. And I think that's what most people are actually thinking is like people will use it to relieve themselves of responsibility. And people do that. And you're not supposed to. That's not how the program works anyway. You are supposed to. I can tell you right now, I've been high on pretty much everything imaginable. And I've only blacked out a couple of times very briefly. I remember everything. My judgment was bad, but I remember it. I can't go, well, I don't remember that. No, I remembered it. Jake D, Dolified, Jason C. Thank you for the super stickers, Jake D, for $1.49. Check out Jake G's channel. He's an up-and-coming channel. He just started. He's live streaming. He's getting his feet under him. Give him a shot. He did a boys review I thought was quite good. So thanks, Jake D. And yeah, if you just put a Jake D, it should show up. Dolified, thank you again, Jason C. Dolified, thank you for the poop. Yeah. I mean, honestly, as I told Doomcock on the Inquisition, this was not my worst summer. I know it was for a lot of you, and I get it. But it wasn't my worst summer. I actually had a couple of summers that were way worse than this one. I mean, I was with my kid all summer and my wife, and yeah, we went through some shit, but like I was in prison for 3 summers, actually 4. So yeah, I've had 4 summers that were worse, a lot worse. And then I had one that was, even when I was homeless, I was still having fun. Death Pale Rider, welcome to the Gandalf level. I appreciate it. Member stream on Sunday, 10 a.m. Gary, the Gray Wizard of the Fandom Menace. Huzzah! Oh, Cody Duffin, what is up? How are you? Huzzah! Thank you for the $2. Jeremy Booth and Don Mondonga for welcome to the Jaloja level. Jaloja. God, Seth, I know Seth MacFarlane watches all of my live streams. That's not true. But I know, Seth, if you're out there, buddy, give us a couple of Orville episodes, please. Please. I promise to review them. Paisley Gemini. I mean, like, really, it'd be nice to have something to take our mind off the election. I know what side you're on. I'm not going to judge you for it, but it'd be nice just to have a couple of Orville episodes. Paisley Gemini for $4.99. Hail, Gary. Is it true that the new Doctor will be a black woman? No. It could be. It could be. I mean, there already is a black woman Doctor. They already have a black woman Doctor. Joe Martin. The first female Doctor of color played by Joe Martin. So the next Doctor will not be white. I repeat, the next Doctor will not be white. And I was told that months ago, and I think it's pretty obvious. There's no way in hell it's going to be white. And Jodie's on her way out. She's done. She got one season left. Bye-bye. I predict the show, supposedly, I think, what did Noel say? That there's a rumor out there on Twitter that they're starting to film. Even if they're starting the film, it's not going to get done. One of the problems they're having is they have a bunch of inexperienced people because of their diversity. See, hey, everything the Academy is doing, and California is mandating, by the way, your board. Like, your board has to have certain races of people. We are going into insanity. We are absolutely going into insanity. And we're going down a road that's going to be very, very bad. California eradicated a law that will be dangerous someday. I fucking promise you. This is how short-sighted and fucking mindless we are in this state. Gavin Newsom is a freaking tard. He is a narcissistic tard. I digress. So the BBC Inclusion and Diversity Initiative is now being implemented in the States, and we're going to get the same results. And listen, maybe in a few generations it works. I highly doubt it, because there's still going to be nepotism and the still same old bullshit and cronyism in Hollywood. But we're getting garbage out of the BBC. And it's going to take, it took 11 months to shoot the last one. Imagine how long it's going to take with the social distancing now. If the next, I said it before, I could absolutely believe that the next Doctor will be another female. Like, and the only question we're going to ask then is, how low can the ratings go? I think it's going to be a black man, which I am fine with, but you're saddling him with a bunch of shit because they're not going to undo any of this. So, I mean, I'm done. I'll watch it as it's kind of like how I watch Star Wars now. You know, I watch The Mandalorian as pretty much a critic for I don't pretend I'm a critic. I have bias. I'm human. I could objectify some shit, and I could be objective for some shit too. But and I can for The Mandalorian, because I don't really care. I have no feelings towards Star Wars. So if it's a decent episode, okay, right. But I'll probably get that way with the newer Doctor Who, because I don't even count it as real. It's so bad. I mean, just watch, even in the dark days of Capaldi in season freaking 10, which was, bad. It was bad. Most of it was bad. It's Shakespeare compared to series 11. And I've got some Doctor Who news in a little bit. What could have been? Oh,
What could have been? 2020 is like being in an episode of The Twilight Zone, right? Dana Bailey for $5. I completely agree. Just waiting for Rod Serling to come around the corner. Rod Serling. Nathaniel Larson for $5. Gary, the courting just released a video that there was a court ruling in Texas against cuties. They might actually be good news in 2020. Netflix indicted by Texas court over cuties, says Lady Gravemaster. Yes. Here's the deal. I want to be hopeful for this, and I'll look it up. I don't think they'll be able to do anything. I want them to. I hope this is more than symbolic, because they have to be very specific about this. And Netflix is a billion-dollar company. They're going to get some good fucking lawyers. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at it. I'm going to look right now. I want to make sure they don't show the poster. I'm not fucking showing that poster. So give me a mo. There we go. Okay. October 6, 2020, in Tyler County, Texas, a grand jury indicted Netflix for knowingly promoting material in the film Cuties, which depicts the lewd exhibition of the, I can't say that word, of the crotch, or public area of clothed or partially clothed child who is younger than 18 years of age at the time the visual material was created, which appeals to the prurient interest in sex and has no serious literary, artistic, political, or scientific value. Representative Matt Schofer posted the indictment on his Facebook page this afternoon, also tweeting out, Netflix Incorporated indicted by the grand jury in Tyler County, Texas, for promoting material for the promotion material. That's important. Which depicts lewd. Now this, I think they can get. There might be something. Listen, I'm gonna be real with you, folks. Nothing but real with you. I fucking hate Netflix for showing this. I want Netflix to pull it down. I don't want the government getting involved. It sucks that they had to, but I'm sorry. I'm fiercely against the government moralizing. Now, protecting children's a good thing. This is a good thing. My hope was Netflix would do the right thing. And now it's led to this, which is going to lead to laws that I'm probably not going to like, because they're going to start in a good place. They're going to start in protecting kids, which is great. We need more of those. We need more here in California, but then they need to end there. I don't need the government moralizing other things, okay? Because that I don't like. Kids protect. Kids cannot consent. It's an obvious thing. And obviously, we're getting into this area where people do have to step in now. That's how fucking crazy this world is now. Like, for Christ's sake, this should be a judgment call. Like, just shoot 18-year-olds. God damn it. Go find some 18-year-olds and say they're 16-year-olds. You do it all the fucking time. I still wouldn't be for it, but at least that would be legal. At least here. But just be prepared for Netflix to win this. There's the indictment. So go get them. Fuck it. If it's for the poster, they put it out there. Believe me, that thing's pinned up on a few walls, don't you think? So, yeah. That's like I'll keep you updated on it. I'm not going to do a video on this. I've got other videos to make, so we can discuss it here. Again, my mind hasn't changed on this at all. As a dad, it disgusts me. And I'm not some moraling. I'm not, I don't get on my moral high horse. Okay. Again, get your fucking freak on. I don't care. I don't care who you sleep with. I don't care how you identify. As long as you're not bothering anybody else, I'll respect you and we can be friends. That's fine. I don't care, because most normal people don't sit around and obsess over who they screw or how they identify. I'm not worried about that. But this, we're about to add another letter to the alphabet that I hope that the alphabet community fights. I hope they fight it. I think it's in their best interest to fight it. Justin Proper for $5. For those who aren't guitar players, Eddie Van Halen's death is like if William Shatner or Harrison Ford passed away. My heart is broken. Yep. Well put, Justin Proper. And I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. Thank you for the $5. Yeah, this is, that's so weird that we're in a day where we have to explain to the nerds about some old rock and roll when like 20 years ago, you would have laughed at that. We would have gone like, if, just for some context, Leonard Nimoy passing away is like John Lennon passing away to a rock star, Yeah, the tides have turned. Chris Latito. For $5. What is best in life? To scoop your ice cream, drive it to the bottom of the glass, and then hear the women. Sorry, I screwed that up. And then hear the women lament about pouring root beer over it. Hail Doomcock. Root beer floats are best in life. I love root beer floats. Who doesn't like? You know what? It's probably those candy corn hating. I'll be nice people who probably don't like root beer floats either, or puppies. Speaking moistly for 5 Canadian pesos. I had a nice long red beard, but had to shave it. The ladies love my beard, but it had to go for my job. Oh, screw that job. No, I did that too. The last time I was a beardless boy was right before The Last Jedi came out, and that's when I got my Tesla job, and I wanted to look good for my interview, and I wasn't sure, so I'm like, I was going to trim it short, and then I fucked up shaving it, and I had to shave the whole thing. Norwegian Kryptonian for 22 Norwegian krona. Rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. And Cecil for president 2020. I'd vote for Cecil. Nathaniel Larson for $5. Do you have a P.O. box? I do, Nathaniel. It is, I will give you a link to where you can find, or if it's one of the mods, it's on my website, nerdrotic.com. If you go to the About section, or it's in the About section on my YouTube channel page. KF, The Hill using a Nick Cage photo as Lincoln. Look. Was that the article I was just on? I don't know. I do not know what you were referencing. That wasn't the Netflix article. And by the way, the headline said, breaking, Netflix indicted Texas court for lewd exhibition of children in Cuties film. The Texas grand jury indicted Netflix for knowingly promoting material in the film Cuties, which depicts the lewd exhibition and the crotchular area of a clothed or partially clothed child who was younger than 18 years of age. Yes. Like if they're going for the poster, yeah, I think they can get them on that one. But like, dude, kicked out of 3 high schools. I don't know shit. here's what I figure. Normally I would see this as moral grandstanding and some politician using some taxpayer money to get him some clout, to get some rahs from us, and then nothing will come of it. Which I could be the case. I'm glad it's being done, but my prediction is Netflix crushes this small Texas town because they're a giant billion-dollar corporation, which is a problem in of itself. So I will be keeping an eye on this one. I'll be keeping an eye on it. Hale, I've already started seeing the female-led film Shield being employed on Jessica Chastain's new flick, The 355, gender used as a rebuttal to criticism that the premise looks a tad average. What is the 350? I have no idea. Jessica Chastain's new film? I can't, I'm not a big fan of hers. Grey Ghost FM for $10. Not a big fan of the Jessica Chastain. I'll look at it, but it's a Shield for what? I mean, if it's being made in 2019, is the 355 based on something I'm unaware of? Here, let's take a look at it real quick. I'll educate myself. Okay, so it's a spy thriller. First trailer for the 355 reveals A-list spy thriller starring Chastain. Is she A-list? Is Jessica Chastain A-list? My God. Hollywood has fallen. Oh, so it's yeah, this looks pretty cringe. Oh, there you go. From the studio that brought you Jason Bourne. You know what that means, right? From the place that owns the building where Matt Damon had lunch. Fucking the 355. From the studio that brought you Jason Bourne. That is a rich. Is this A-list? How is this? I have never heard of some of these people. Okay, Bing Bing Fan, representing the Chinese Communist Party. That's good that the Chinese Communist Party is being represented here by Bing Bing Fan. Lupita Nyong'o is British. Jessica Chastain is Moroccan. Penelope Cruz is that Spain? Must be Spain. And Diana Kruger, as she is German, and they are super spies, and they are the kick-ass ladies who are strong and powerful, and none of them are going to have character arcs, and it's just going to be, they're all awesome. And I'll be sure to miss it, to be honest with you. Because I know that sounds really jaded, but I've consumed a lot of entertainment in 2019 and 2020, and I think I'm probably spot on this one. But I could be wrong. Just like that Sherlock Holmes YA thing that came out with Henry Cavill, the clickbait. But thank you, Grey Ghost FM. I appreciate it. We still have 4,500 people watching. We have 2,224 likes. Thank you all. We have 6 new members. You guys are brilliant today. Brilliant. Thank you for tuning in to Tuesday Nooner. So they're on Tuesday, the day, because I do the Inquisition on Sunday, and I don't want to roll around and do another live stream like the very next morning. So that could change, because I might do another night live stream on Mondays. We'll see. But I need to have time to record videos. I actually had time to record a video yesterday. And it was nice. And thanks for watching it. Thank you for watching it. Man of War 665, Neighbor of the Beast for $5. Robin the Boy Hostage. Yes. Yes. I almost did a video, I still might, on the boys going woke and my disappointment with it. I mean, it's recorded. It's just kind of a rant. I might put it out. It was after I did the live stream on Sunday. And I went back and watched it again. And the boys has been woke from the beginning. And I'll explain that when I do my review for season 1. But it was a big setup. It really was. Balls D. McGee for $1.99. Dick Grayson needs his own movie, The Boy Wonder. I want to see him with Batman before he goes off to his own movie. I want to see a Batman and Robin movie. And we're not. We're just not. Well, we did. People always go, Batman and Robin and Batman Forever. I mean, those are cartoons to me. Those aren't like real movies. Like, I don't take them seriously. I like them as like a bad B movie. No, I don't like Batman and Robin. I can't stand Batman and Robin. Not a fan of George Clooney. Zathras, thank you for becoming a member at the Jaloja level. Now, I like Oh Brother Where Art Thou. Fucking love that movie. I do. And I love Ocean's 11, but I'm just not a fan of him in particular. Derek McManus for £2. Get Dave Colin on Friday Night Tights. And wrench Problem Being. Oh, does Problem Being want it? Problem Being, do you want to be a wrench? I need to wrench a bunch of people, actually. Eric K gave me a list. So you will be wrenched in a couple of days. Okay, but Problem Being, do you want to be a wrench? I mean, yeah, sure. I'll do it, Derek. Of course, Derek. And I'm working on getting Dave on. Great video today. Dude is trying to make a difference. Like, he is actually trying to make a difference. Like, I feel guilty when I watch his videos, because I'm like, oh, maybe I should be doing more. I don't know. I think I think he's made for that kind of stuff. And I could see Dave. Dave would be like, if he was a politician here in the States, he'd have my vote. He'd have my vote. Speaking moistly for 5 Canadian pesos, you watch Superman. Is Superman still relevant today by Literature Devil? It's good. I haven't watched it yet. I will. I'll watch it before he's on Friday Night Tights. Odeon AMC in the UK is not going to close. Good. I don't want the theaters to close. I want the studios to release blockbuster movies into the theaters that are open so they can make some fucking money. You're just sacrificing a couple of movies that, guess what? You'll probably end up making most of your money back. And you know what? There's probably some write-off. There is write-offs that you can make. And you know what they're worried about? Pissing off investors. That's what they're worried about. You know what? The investors need to suck it up. Maybe give them a shot. Get creative. That's what you're supposed to do over there in Hollywood. Get fucking creative. Save the movie theaters. But do not ask the public to do it. Because you're literally asking the public to fucking bail out millionaires and billionaires. It's not. I'm going to use your language, Hollywood. It's not a good look. In these hard times, it's just not a good look. I think people would appreciate it if you figured out a way. I think that would give you a little better image. Because I hate to break this to you, Hollywood. People really fucking hate you right now. It's not even dislike. It's not even frustration. It's flaming hate. Intense hate of 1,000 suns because of what you have said to your paying customer. The hate that you showed them first. There's a lot of hate going around because you have been disrespecting them, dehumanizing them, demonizing people constantly. And people are done with it. They're fed up. They're fed up with sports. I mean, the NFL was a juggernaut. It was invulnerable And then Colin Kaepernick came along, and that was the first dent in the armor. And now it's got a vulnerability, and it's festering. It's festering. And it's festering in entertainment and in all sports. And when people can go back to your stadiums, which is going to be a long, long time, I think they're going to be empty. Not completely empty, but I think in some places you're going to struggle to sell out now when sellouts were automatic. Now, Green Bay is always going to go, they're always going to sell out their stadium. The Giants pretty much are always going to sell out the stadium, the New York Giants. There's certain teams that are just always going to sell out, win or lose, doesn't matter. Cincinnati, Miami, I don't know. LA, fuck no. It's the most fickle sports fans on the planet are in LA. For the Chargers, that stadium, you might as well hang on to those cardboard cutout people because you're going to need those when the Chargers play their home games. Trust me. Thank you for the banana. Zadine Star Shadow for $1.49. I appreciate that. Is that phallic? Oh my God, I'm dying. Thank you, Melissa. LOL for a Dark Star when she came in with my fruity drink. It's quite good. Ace Mr. Freeze, what's up, buddy? He's in on the member streams. Texas grand jury indicts Netflix for the pedo film. He just gets right to the point. That's what it is. Ace Mr. Freeze, you rock, dude. Nettle Nerds for $5. True, Gary. What you do now about the comics is not like you ran a comic shop for 10 years. I know. There's no need to bring it up. I was joking about that with Neon, or he was joking with me at Clownfish, because we both get the same criticisms. And Neon, is a professional comic book writer, did it for many, many years, an artist. It's hilarious. Matt Bamagrad for $10. Hail, Gary. Heads up. It looks like the Texas grand jury indicted Netflix today over daring and bold award-winning twerking film. Discovery Motions should be interesting. That will be interesting. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Hang on. I'm going to take another sip. I didn't think about that. This is why I got to think these things through. Discovery. Are they going to get access to those 600 plus audition tapes? Hey, defenders of this film. Maybe now is an opportunity to rethink your position. And maybe understand that you don't want to be on the side of Movie Bob. Fucking Movie Bob. Cinema Roberto. Diabito. I pretty much, I don't have a ton of self-doubt, but I also don't wake up in the morning thinking I am a good guy. I am right on everything. No, my mind is open. I try to start every day as a lesson. Okay. As a lesson. So I am not fixed in some positions, but not everything. Okay. But one thing I know, like, it's in cement. It is, it's an absolute fact that I'm on the right side when I'm on the opposite side of Cinema Roberto or Zoe Quinn. They are continually wrong, bad, disgusting people as far as their behavior is concerned. Zoe much worse than Cinema Roberto, I'll say. Diabito, I don't believe has led somebody to self-delete. Maybe if they watch too many of his videos, I wouldn't recommend that. But Zoe, I know if I'm on the other side of those two, I'm doing okay. I'm probably making a good decision. Death Paled Rider for 99 cents. He's angry. He's angry. He's got an angry sticker in there, and that's good. Can Sony crossover its Spider-Man with DC characters? Christopher Malloy for $5. If they sign a deal with Warner Brothers separate, maybe. I mean, it's possible. If they have free reign over Spider-Man, yes. But I'm wondering if there might be some clause that Marvel has in the contract, like if you're going to cross over with DC, we have to sign off on it or something like that. I think it would be difficult, but it's possible. How's that sound? Eric K for $5. I have a few Van Halen stories I will have to tell you sometime. Cool. I'd love to hear them, Eric K. Bass Mechanic for $20. I wish I could listen to your live stream, but I have to get back to work on spaceships for NASA. Holy shit. Keep up the good fight. Godspeed to you and your family. Thank you. Wow. I can honestly say we have rocket scientists now in the chat. That's fucking cool. Oh, that's good. Best time is now for $4.99. Texas court indicted a certain streaming company for a certain controversial film. People are excited about this. Well, I hope it goes somewhere. I'm sorry to be so fucking jaded about it, but I mean, I just watched an Asab Dean lose when it was so fucking cut and dry that CBS and Alex Kurtzman, in my opinion, ripped that fucking dude off. And it's discouraging. I mean, I knew it would end up like this. If you ask me, heart of hearts, I knew it would end up like this. But yeah, a small town versus a fucking massive, you're taking on Hollywood, essentially. Like, Netflix will get help from the best of the best because there's a lot of powerful people who want to keep this stuff normalized. Gary, so at this point, which shows on Amazon are not infected with wokeness besides The Expanse? I heard The Man in the High Castle got pretty woke. Yeah, it got woke. Terminus Est for $5. An old show. Here's where I think people are at a point where, like, they have no tolerance for woke. I'm there. Like, even a little bit of it's like, I'm fucking so tired of it. It's so boring and tripe, and it just ruins every story. Here, let's go to this article. We got a couple articles to go over now. Unfortunately, we have to go to Bleeding Cool. Ugh. So I wanted to talk about a couple things with Doctor Who. This and the Time Lord Victorious. So before we start this, like I said earlier in the show, I wanted to check out the Time Lord Victorious. I wanted to be caught up on the story. It's this sprawling crossover through multiple mediums. And here, I will do this. There we go. We'll go here first. So, they're trying to get their fans back after Doctor Who crashed and burned. They just destroyed the main character. I mean, it was after they made the main character female, then they made it worse. They destroyed the canon, and the Doctor is now originally a female. Of course, I ran the rumor on that. The rumor turned out to be true. So now they want the old fans back. So what do? They give you the most convoluted, confusing thing possible. I don't know whose idea this was. This is a corporate idea. This is an idea thought up by somebody who just got out of fucking college and thought this would be a good fucking idea. So I'm a former comic shop owner, and I grew to hate crossovers. I hate them with the intensity of 10,000 suns. I fucking hate crossovers. I used to love them. They were fun. But it's where one story crosses through multiple titles, but Doctor Who and Star Trek's going to be apparently doing one too, and Star Wars is doing one now too. They're going to do crossovers through multiple mediums. And here's the timeline. I'm like, okay. So I have this timeline where everything comes in order, right? I'm going to click on this. Oh, wait. I can't click on any of the fucking timeline. So that's the first thing. It's just an image. It's fucking stupid. So it gives you the actual order you need to read this in. And okay, so it starts with a VR game. Then it goes into a comic book. Then it goes into a book annual with fucking the first female fucking doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, who we'll call Dr. Karen on it. And then it goes back into a comic book. And then it goes to another comic book, and then a book, and then a comic book, and a book, and a comic book, and a book, and a comic book, and then an audio venture, and then a comic book, and then a book, and then like some other bullshit thing. So it's jumping through video games, books, comic books, audio adventures. So this is your one list. So for one, what I would do is I would have made a package, or maybe they did, where you can buy everything, like a bundle, where you could just buy it all. And they send it to you. No. So here it is. So now you have to go through all these and then refer back to the picture. Okay, so there's the Dalek Awakens is where it starts. All right, where's the Dalek Awakens? Well, you think it would be right fucking here. You know? No, it's down here. So that's the first one. Is like second to last. And it's got a stupid logo. But yeah, I was looking into it. I'm like, you know what? This is a lot of work. And then I thought, I'm a fan. Like, I'm a frustrated fan, but I'm a fan. I can't see who this is for. I don't even know who this is for. Even the hardcorest of hardcore fans is going to go, I don't know, man. This is Doctor Who. So yeah, I'm probably going to wait till everything's done. So whatever I can buy, I can just buy from a guy or a gal on eBay and give them some money and not give the BBC money. Fuck the BBC. There we go. We're going to go back to this. So Grant Morrison had pitched some episodes and has a whole season worked out. This was back in the, I believe in the Capaldi era. We'll find out. With the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker and the rest of the team behind Doctor Who reportedly expected to begin filming Series 13 within the next 2 months. Barring further COOF delays, it appears the BBC's long-running sci-fi series has a creative sandbox that writer and playwright, he's a playwright now, Grant Morrison, wouldn't mind playing in, speaking to the Tech Radar in support of his Peacock streaming service series, Brave New World. Wait a minute, I didn't know he was writing Brave New World. Nobody mentioned that. I might have to check it out now. Was asked what television shows he'd find inspiring. Why is there an ad in front of my article here? That's so lame. And it's still there. What garbage. What a fucking garbage site. So I can't read this part because fucking shithead Ray Fluke. This, you know who this asshole is? Here, I'm going to show you who this fucker is. This fucker. This asshole piece of shit. You see him? That's the guy who tried to cancel John Pertwee. He found a video that was offensive from the 80s when John Pertwee was scripted to say, "Show us your tits," which I thought was funny as fuck, to be honest with you. And this little piece of soy ran an article trying to cancel him. What a little cuck. All right. So is the ad gone now? That'd be great. I was so much a fan of Dennis Potter, the singing detective, back in the day, so I came from that. I loved all the stuff that was on British television in the 70s and 80s. I thought it was really radical and progressive, Morrison revealed. And in more recent times, I've always loved Doctor Who, and I particularly love the Stephen Moffat was writing because, again, he's very meticulous. Is he meticulous? Oh my God, look at these ads. I know I need to get ad blocker, but I don't want to. Yep, that's right. Doctor Who. It feels like it would be a match made in some kind of heaven, peace and love and happiness. You can fill in the spiritual blank. So why hasn't it happened before? Well, it almost did. Well, it kind of did happen. I did pitch a couple, but it didn't work out. But even though Moffat is no longer writing full-time for the show, wrapping up his end with Peter Capaldi's run, but occasionally returning for events like Doctor Who Lockdown Global Specials, doesn't mean Morrison wouldn't revisit the idea. In fact, he's ready. He's already got a season story to tell. One of these ideas, I've got a whole season worked out, so I'm sure it'll happen eventually. That's confidence. So he said, one of these days, I've got a whole season worked out, so I'm sure it'll happen eventually, whether it comics or something like that. Interesting. Grant Morrison's Doctor Who. I think that would be good. Now, just like, should I tell this story? You know, creatives in Hollywood, and I respect Grant Morrison as a writer. He's one of the best comic book writers out there. Flat out, without a doubt. He's written some classic runs. I would read his shit today. I would. And we're all imperfect human beings. Trust me. So when you hear comic writers specifically, moral grandstand, I want you to keep this in mind. Grant Morrison co-created Happy with Derek Robertson. Did co-created 50-50 owner. 50-50. But you know what's funny? You know what's real funny is you don't see Derek Robertson's name anywhere on the TV show. Anywhere. Not anywhere. You notice his name's all over the boys. Like executive producer, co-created. You see some of his art. The character Happy, I mean, that's designed by Derek. I saw some of the first designs when he was doing it, when it happened. I'm in that comic too. But Derek's name is not on the TV show. I'm not supposed to bring this up, but it's obvious though, because his name's not there. So these are the people who morally grandstand. They will stab each other in the motherfucking back the first minute they get to make an extra few bucks. But they want to tell us how to live. Even Mrs. Nerdrotic noticed when I put up a video like giving Hollywood hell, you guys seem to like really respond well to that. You like that. And as I was walking to do this live stream, Mrs. Nerdrotic was answering some messages. She's getting your swag together. The boxes, for those of you who responded, there was a swag giveaway. And she's got it all boxed up, ready to go. There's going to be another one soon, so stay tuned. We've got some more hats. We got some more beanies. We got some more stickers made. But that being said, I'm walking by her, and she goes, people are really pissed at Hollywood right now. I'm like, yeah, they are. They are. And Hollywood is completely unaware. Completely unaware. and not even willing to try to understand. Like, I would seriously try to at least understand, but no, you're all a bunch of crazy right-wingers. That's all you are. None of your arguments are valid. None of your opinions are valid. You're not even valid as a human being right now to them. And that's what it feels like to be a Doctor Who fan. They created this character right here as a troll. I mean, straight up, they wanted to see the reaction, and they got it. They got exactly what they wanted. They got a huge reaction. It was headline news. And it got the people watching in the first episode damn near a record. And then it fell off a cliff. Because that's all they did was change the Doctor's gender. And now, well, she's gender neutral. So the first female Doctor is gender neutral now. It's like you woke yourself right off the cliff. So now they have the first female Black Doctor. That's Jo Martin right there, who honestly plays the part better than she does. Like, she has more gravitas, more something or other. It's still a male part. It's still a male. I know some of the fans out there go, well, if we have to have a female Doctor, it's like, no, we're done here. We're done here. Like, I could have lived with one of them. And if they didn't mess with the canon, I could have moved on. I could have just forgot that era. And no. I absolutely believe they would do another female Doctor. And they are absolutely going to keep the Timeless Children. They're not done, by the way, with the Timeless Children. They're not done. They're going to be adding to it, not retconning it. So, yeah, fucking Doctor Who. It's so sad. It's fucking sad. And the thing is, you know why? You know how I know it's sad? Like, I get mad about it. I'm still mad about it. And by the way, did I say fuck Ray Fluke? Fuck Ray Fluke for trying to cancel John Pertwee again. You little freaking piece of... I shouldn't pick on the little guy too much. He calls himself old man nerd. Like he's a wise old man. You know what? A wise old man wouldn't try to cancel a dead guy. But he works for Rich Johnston at Bleeding Fool, so that can't pay well. That cannot pay well. Where was I? I was watching Type 40 TARDIS podcast a little bit this morning. Saw a lot of my friends on there. And I've been watching Noel, been watching Svi, and they're still pissed. I mean, this is it. I saw this with The Last Jedi, it was much bigger. But it's been months now, and the wound is still open. The wound is still fucking open, and boy, is it going to get reopened this Christmas. It's coming, folks. The last episode of Doctor Who for a long time. Thank God. And it could make things worse. Keep that in mind. Where are we at? 2 hours, 18 minutes. Okay, that's good. Captain Marvel earned $1 billion from Disney's pocket. Yeah. Well, they had to give, it is incredible that movie made that much money because it's shockingly bad. Want a bleak occult horror comic written with a Ouija board in a haunted house based on real crimes? Bad News All Day is on Indiegogo, 186 pages for $18. That's pretty good. Payment Press for £5. I've never heard of it. But thank you for the £5. I'll check it out. It's called Bad News All Day. Adam Wolford for $5. Wait, actors stop doing stupid things and saying stupid things? Gary, that's madness. This is 2020. Is really bad if that ever happens. Don't lie to me. Yeah, it would be bad if it happens, but it's not going to happen. And it's going to be nuts the next month. And this is where I would tell you as a fellow human being, try not to get too caught up in it. Try not to bite into the hyperbole that the mainstream media is going to be feeding you constantly. Everything's going to get ratcheted up because they need to outdo yesterday's headline. And yesterday's headline was fucking nuts. And then the one before that was fucking nuts. And everything feels like it's fucking nuts. Well, I promise you, every single day, something fucking nuts is going on somewhere in the world. And just remember that it's not necessarily going on in your life. And one bad thing doesn't make everything bad. And what the media want, what the government wants, is us afraid and docile and obedient. Except if you're peacefully protesting. Then you could be as disobedient as you want and foul as you want and as evil as you want. Isn't it funny that we started out the summer, and for those of us who just said, hey, I want to go to work, you want to kill grandma. And then the politicians I'm going to use my pronouns right. They who voted in a couple of Democrats in certain regions ended up killing grandma. Michigan, New York. Is that irony? I don't know. Again, being kicked out of 3 high schools. But we wanted to go to work and they were accusing us of killing grandma, but then the politicians they voted into office actually killed grandma. Lots of grandmas and grandpas. Funny, but not funny. So that being said, I mean, I doubt many of you watch the mainstream media. Just try not to let it get to you. And I'm saying that for myself too. Like, it's going to get nuts, but I told the story on Stephen Walton's live stream a couple days ago. I just had to talk down my kid. He woke up at 2:30 in the morning and he was fucking stressed. Just stressed. He wasn't crying or shaking at anything because he doesn't, he's pretty chill. But when he comes up and says something's bothering him, something's really bothering him. Because he's usually like, leave me alone, I'm fine. And yeah, so when your 15-year-old kid wakes up at 2:30 in the morning and says he needs to talk, I mean, that's dad time. You got to fire up, get the dad mode going. And yeah, he was, the president getting the coof worried him, genuinely worried him. He was worried for the president because he's a kid. So he sees him as a president, and the leader of the free world. And, he has been, he was worried that he might die. Right. And then, having to move out of his house, having to do high school on Zoom, a grade at this point, they're either going to have to, they're going to have to repeat everybody, or they're just going to have to pass an entire generation for a grade. And I think that's what they should do at this point. Cause I can't tell you how effing useless. I'm not going to say it in front of him, but those Zoom classes are fucking useless. No kid is getting anything out of that. Such a waste of time. And so the stress of that, his mom losing his business, it got to him. And, his mom's been busy. I've been busy. He's not, or his brother's up, usually around to talk to him, and I talk to him too, but he leans on his brother quite a bit. And he's just felt kind of alone here. And I got caught up in my shit, and, he wasn't really talking to me because he saw I was busy, and I felt horrible. Bad. So he's okay. But again, there's millions of kids out there right now that are going through that shit too. And we adults are out here on the line and shit, firing it up, going back and forth. And we got to keep that in mind. At least I will. I'm still going to get mad and stuff. And my audience under 30 is pretty small, but I'm going to keep in mind that there might be a teenager out there. And I do want to remind you that this isn't, what did I heard Jimmy Church say? This is the most pivotal year in human history. Hyperbole, bro. Hyperbole. This is not the most pivotal year in human history. Might be the most pivotal year in the 21st century. Sure. Human history? Fucking assholes and they fire shit up. This isn't the worst year in this country's history. Not even in the last 100 years. It's not even fucking close. So we need to remember that. Our power grid is working. Our sewage system works. Your iPhone works. Your fucking cell phone still works. Government is still functioning. A lot of businesses are open. It's not the apocalypse. Get over it. Stop. It's shit in some of the areas you pay attention to. Sports is shit. Entertainment is shit. Politics is complete fucking shit. I get it. But other things are doing just fine. I'm trying to remember that. Because it's going to be fucking nuts for the next month. And you just wonder what's going to be next. Again, though, if the aliens do not arrive, say we're here by the end of the year, I will be disappointed in 2020. I'll be disappointed. Now, if they come right at the end of the year to subvert our expectations, that would be great. I look at my family. I took my family to the cinema to see Bill and Ted, where there was only how many people there? Ultra Terran. It says where there were only people there. Probably only a couple people there. The movie was okay, but experience was bad. Mask, no drinks, and essentially being watched by staff. We don't want to return. Yeah, that sounds awful. That sounds awful. For one, enough of the fucking surveillance shit. And okay, I'm going to bring one thing up. For all the people who think we're in a fascist fucking country. For one, there wouldn't be rioting if we were. The state police or the federal police would kill you, would shoot you on sight as a rioter if we lived in a fascist state. That's number one. Number two, there wouldn't be states' rights. The one thing that has made the coof a little difficult on some, but it's the way it has to be, because if we change this, it's going to be bad, is states' rights. We need states' rights. So it gave the power to the local politicians and the governors. As much as I fucking hate it, as much as I became a victim of a bad governor and a bad mayor, I don't want our system to change, because the alternative would be worse, much worse. So it's fucked that it happened to us. It's fucked that I live in California, a one-party state. We don't ever want to live in a one-party country or one-party state, ever. For obvious reasons. But for the morons who think we're in a that's including you, Robert De Niro, you freaking tard. Yeah, if you think we live in a fascist state, it wouldn't allow a millionaire actor to go on CNN and talk shit about our leader and say we're in a fascist state. You're not in a fascist state if you're allowed to be on the news and say we're in a fascist state. I think that's the easiest answer right there. But I think right now, I think people need to think about the president could mandate a lot of shit that he hasn't. And I appreciate that, because I think if anybody else was in office, there would be a lot of things that we would not be allowed to do right now. Let's just say that. There'd be a lot of executive orders, there'd be a lot of mandates, and we would not be allowed to even slightly open. And we don't want centralized power in this country. I think it would be fucking very bad, but I think we're heading towards that. We need to fight it as long as we can. You're not boring. I'm doing food deliveries and having a super slow night. That's why I'm bored. Oh, Butterbiscuit, I never said you said I was boring. I said it was nice to hear that I'm not boring. I was appreciating it. Thanks, Butterbiscuit, for $5. No. I just said, when you said you were not bored, I said I appreciated that. That's brilliant, because I am reminded of all the times people have said I was boring, which is fine. I did. But thanks, man. Gerard Garvin for $5. I used to hope stuff I liked would be adapted on TV, would be adapted to TV or a movie. Now I hope they don't. How times have changed. Yes. Like they're going to adapt. They're going to adapt Plastic Man. It's like, no more comics. Don't adapt anything. They're going to bring so-and-so into the comics. No. R.I.P. Gary's dad. Thanks, Truthy Magoo. I appreciate that for $5. That's nice. Alex Sears for $5. Can you do a video on how you maintain the beautiful mane of a beard? Alex Sears for $5. Would you guys really watch that? I mean, sure. I'll have Mrs. Nerdrotic make it, I guess. I wash it. And little moisturizing with some beard oil. I comb it. But the key is to keep it clean, like constantly. And I use a wood comb. If you want to, I think my comb is available. If you go to my Amazon, I have an Amazon page. Hang on. I'll get you guys the link. And so if I ever like recommend something, it's been a while since I updated it, but this page has all kinds of shit. Oh, Melissa updated it. That's great. So this is my Amazon page. Check it out. You don't have to buy anything. It's just like that's stuff I recommend. It's like a list. Theaters are now open in North Carolina. My girlfriend and I went to see Empire Strikes Back, and there were only 7 people in the theater. Hollywood has big problems, huge, humongous problems. And you know what they're doing? Telling us to vote. Hollywood, you might want to turn around. I think I see some smoke over your shoulder. Yeah. Zimowit P for $5. Check out a Polish movie called, how am I supposed to say this word? Sex Mission. Hey, it puts current events in perspective. I like the title. I do. Another 2 hours of trucking left. I read this one. Thank you, Christian Delorme. It jumped on me. Mech 1164. Timelord Vainglorious. I'd be honored for a wrench. Okay, cool. If I see you in there, Matt, problem being, well, maybe I can do it from here. Can I do it from here? Yep. Boom. Done. Okay. Thanks, problem being. David Harvey for $10 says, I understand not wanting the government to take action against Netflix. We'll see what happens, but Netflix will do nothing to take anything down. Just my opinion. No, it has to. I understand the government has to step in at this point. I do. I just don't want it. I said that in all my videos. I'm like, I do not want the government mandating this shit. By the way, the thing is, here's the deal. Here's the difference. And again, I'm like, this is all happening live. So I'm formulating my thoughts and thinking about things I wasn't thinking about before. There are already laws on the books. So if the government gets involved for laws that are already on the books, so be it. Yes. And honestly, I am pretty much for pretty much every single law in defense of kids. I can't think of many that I'm against. And there's not enough. And that fucking creep in California getting SB 145 passed by the fucking creep Gavin Newsom. And we're supposed to rely on the judges. Well, judges are partisan as fuck. And now now we're dealing with activist judges. And I am absolutely with Razor Fist. Like, we need to term limit everything. And I know that's going to cause problems, but I think the problems we're going to have are going to be worse without them. Gary, can you do fog? I say foghorn leghorn. That's the best I can do. I say, hey boy. Mighty Balzac, thank you for the $2 Australian. Shinobi Kenobi for $5. I don't even know a football team anymore. The Redskins are no more. Screw wokeness and screw the NFL. Yeah. When San Diego, when the Chargers left San Diego, that was it. My last connection was Phillip Rivers. He's gone. He's on the Colts now. God damn. And yeah, I could care less. I could care fucking less. Phoenix Tangent, thank you for the $1.99. Says, I'm tired. Steve Yarnell for $4.99. Hi, Gary. I see you've been doing a lot of live streaming lately. Great stuff. Love the hustle. Thank you, Steven Yarnell. I appreciate it. I like the live stream. I committed to live streaming when the coof started more. So, but these are scheduled live streams that I've been doing for a couple of years now. At least the Nerdrotic Nooner. Been doing the Inquisition for a year, Friday Night Tights for 2 years, the Nerdrotic Nooner for almost 2 years. It's fun. I like it. Thank you, Steve. Hail, Gary. I'm going to shoot you an email regarding video clipping your live streams. Would love to help out. Salon is slow at the moment, so I have plenty of time. Mr. Clark, thank you. Gary at nerdrotic.com. And then, what's the other email, Lady Gravemaster? It's production team. I'll look it up. Don't worry about it. I have another email that you can get to Lady Gravemaster with. And I always forget what it is. There. Okay. It is. I can't find it now. I'll find it. If Lady Gravemaster, if you could pop a link in the chat, that'd be great. Netflix stock is taking a beating due to the indictment. They may win the court case, but this drawn out legal issue is going to hurt them financially. IK926 for $5. I do have an article on that. Would you guys like to see Netflix stock fucking eating shit? I think I would. Let's see if this is true. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. It's not looking that good. God damn, their stock is high though. I remember when it was like nothing. I remember when this stock was nothing. I almost worked there. So the dip came at a couple hours ago. Okay, yeah. And it was, that's pretty good. That's significant. Oh my God. That's like, I can't even get my head around how much money that is in a day that they lose. Yeah. Fuck Netflix. Let's just stare at that for a little while, shall we? Netflix is so desperate, they are sucking it up and hiring Alan Dershowitz to defend them. No, Fat Gandalf, no. That is like fucking perfect that they hired Alan Dershowitz. Fucking Epstein Island Alan Dershowitz, right? That's the same guy. That is fucking hilarious. And that now they're setting up for some drama. Oh my God, that is hilarious. There. Let me show you something real quick. This Alan Dershowitz, defender of Jeffrey Epstein. That should be interesting. That guy knows a thing or two. Hail, Gary. Hail, Mrs. Nerdrotic. Thanks for helping my workday fly by. Unfortunately, we 50-somethings remember when the A-list included actual talent. Yes, Sarah B. for $5. You are correct. Jessica Chastain is an A-list actress. Okay. Yeah. Alan Dershowitz. That's David Lopan. David Lopan. Oh, David Lopan. I got to show you something. It's behind me. Hang on. See if I can show it. If you guys can see it. You can kind of see it. No, my mic is in the way. There he is. Jack Burt. You paid your dues, Jack. The check is in the mail. Mark C. Thank you for the information, Gary, but I can't mourn Eddie Van Halen until Razor Fist live streams. Okay. I don't know what Razor Fist is Razor Fist going to live stream on it? Pod Racing Palpatine, thank you for the phallic unicorn for 99 cents. I appreciate it. Mr. Insanity for 99 cents. Thank you for the phallic unicorn. And Jason C., thank you for the phallic unicorn. Robert Meza for $5. Do you see any changes in media if Biden wins? Will it all be about obey your benevolent government with a heavy dose of woke racism? Yes, that's exactly what it's going to be. There will be no resistance. No, there won't be any resistance at all. I mean, they might be critical of them once in a while, but that's the danger of everybody being lockstep with the government. I mean, that's why I hate to break it to all those fucking rebels, all you rebels working for Disney, all you rebels working for Marvel, all you rebels working for Warner Brothers and their parent companies. You might have pink hair or purple hair or blue hair and piercings because you can all afford them. Like, we couldn't afford that shit, by the way. We had to pierce our own ears, make our own fucking tattoos, put our own fucking studs in our leather jacket, and dye our own hair at fucking in public bathrooms and shit with cold water. And we still fucking did it because we were actual punk rock. What you guys are tools of the system. Cogs in the machine. You are the system. You are so far from what punk rock really is. You're the normie. You're the fucking normie. And the punk rocker is a Mormon guy making his own comic book about a cyber frog. That's the new punk rocker. The new punk rocker is some ex-jarhead in Texas making like kind of basic G.I. Joe comics. That's the new punk rocker. I mean, not the diss, but that's what they are. And they're popular and people like them because they're the new punk rocker. And the cringe sellout is you, Disney employee. 'Cause, No punk rocker can live in a Manhattan apartment or would. It's fucking sad, really. And punk rockers don't obey shit. But you are. I just want to remind you, Johnny Ramone, Republican, was a Republican. May he rest in peace. Hey, Gary, download that pesky ad blocker and turn it on so the woke sites wouldn't get any money and go broke. Say hi, Rags, and kick V. Adam Wolford, thank you. Well, I don't click on any of their ads. As a matter of fact, I don't buy anything I see on Bleeding Cool. I make sure not to buy. But yeah, I guess I could put on the app, but sometimes ad blocker interferes with things. You guys know that. And I can't have that on a live stream. Thanks for saving me and my son from the botched abortion Terminator Dark Fate. William Kalal, you're welcome. That's been a year since that came out. I thank you for the $10. Imperial Lumpia for $5. Hey, Gary, if you and the fam ever need help of any kind or even a friendly ear, I'm here for you, bud. Thank you. I appreciate that. I do. I truly do. You could email me at gary@nerdrotic.com. All right, folks, we're going to have to, I'm going to try to get, okay, Frank DiStefano for $5. There will never be another Adam West for Batman or Christopher Reeve for Superman. Superman 2, the best, and Michael Keaton was not bad. Batman and Superman sucks. Yeah. It's not, no, there will never be. I was looking at I got a Henry Cavill hot toy, and it's sitting right next to my Christopher Reeve hot toy. I like Henry Cavill. I think he's a really good Superman. I think he needs a better script. I think he looks the part. But when you see him in 3 dimensions, it's not even close. Christopher Reeves is Superman. It's not even close. Adam Wolf for $5. Gary, you know it will go like this. 12/30/2020 to 1/13/2020. We just finished level 1. Now we're entering level 2, and we have to fight White Walkers. Yes, I think so. But if it's like Game of Thrones Season 8, it won't be that hard. We'll just wait for some Deus Ex Machina, strong and powerful little girl to come and save us. Can we go back to those 3 minutes of world peace when everybody was watching Goku and Frieza fight side by side again, Jiren and saving the universe? Michael White for $5. We will someday. We will. Phil, what's up? Phil Moore for $5. Is Among Us still happening with you all? Mahler and them played a day ago, and everyone was frolicking, laughing, and having a great time. Yes, I just talked to Jeremy yesterday. It's hard to pin me down. It's quite frankly hard to pin me down. I said Among Us would be good for Thursday, and that's the last I heard. So if we can do it Thursday during the day, I can do an Among Us thing. That would be fun. Thanks for the Type 40 shout out. By the way, Type 40 TARDIS, here, I'll get you the link. It's a good channel. I subscribe. Give him a sub if you're a Doctor Who fan. Sorry for the delay. I subscribe to a lot of channels. 200 to be exact now. And now I can't find it. Is it under the Type 40 TARDIS podcast? See, now I can't figure out where it is. One of the Nerdrotics will put it in there for sure. I'm trying to find this, and I can't find it now. Sorry. Type in Type 40 podcast. It's good. And did I just find it? No, wait. Shit. Hate it when I can't find something. Sorry. All right, we're going to go back to this. Enough of that. Thank you, Rebecca Gold. Thanks for the Type 40 shout out. You're welcome anytime, mate. I also have a cop movie I shot over 10 years ago on my channel called Bad Day. It's fun and violent. Please give it a shout out. Thanks, mate. You're welcome, Ian. Appreciate you for 20 pounds. Hail, Ian. I believe the market will deliver justice on Netflix and Hollywood much more ruthlessly than any court. At least I hope so. Dan Vask, that I can agree on and hope for. I unsubscribed. I haven't come back. Wonder Woman 1984 reportedly going on to streaming, says Necronomicon Ex Mortis for 2 pounds. That might be a good idea because the movie looks like shit, to be honest with you. It looks like total shit. And HBO Max needs something. They need something. Like all these streaming services rolled out and they either didn't have anything new or, like the Peacock has 10 million people, but I don't hear anybody talking about shit from the Peacock. And then when they listed the top streaming shows, the top 3 were things that came out recently, and then the rest were old TV shows. Hollywood's fucked beyond belief because certain things from the old model were still getting them through, and they can't have that anymore. They're losing advertising money and the blockbuster. They're in trouble. I work in the auto industry. Midwest is going stir crazy. We are working, but there is nowhere to go. Hot chicks at Walmart 24/7 says Shaolin Wright for $5. Well, then go to the Walmart. Go where they go. Also, speaking of the bullshit Zoom class, seen the clip of the kid and his naked mom. Everyone knew this would happen. Oh, a naked mom blew in? Yeah. I haven't seen the clip yet. I was like, God, I wonder if that's my kid. You never know. Gentleman on James for $2. I had an epic beard going and I regret shaving it. Well, hey, gentle on James. It's not like you don't have time to grow it back. You can grow it back. Eruption. Wow. Yeah, that's a fucking good song. Stupid monkey. Protests in Belarus now show what it means to protest in a fascist country. Compare and contrast. Second vote, second vote for sex mission. This is how clowning commie censorship is done. Oh, well, fuck yeah. I'm going to watch it then. So is that the Armenian thing? I don't know if, I'm like kind of tarded when it comes to that stuff. Oh, that's okay. So, Lithuanian recall ambassadors from Belarus. I have no idea what's going on. I know there's something bad happening to the Armenians, that they were protesting it in LA. But I'm not entirely sure what happens. They were protesting some sort of genocide, which is horrible, that I haven't heard anything about. That's probably why, because the media is way too busy telling us that the Orange Man is bad, and they can't tell us about like genocides in other countries. If it's happening, I don't know. But hear me out. Hollywood is falling. Hey, Rain. I almost titled the live stream "Hollywood is Falling," and I might title tomorrow's one "Hollywood is Falling." The Matrix is a fraud franchise. Yes, it is. Real creator of the Matrix is Tom Althouse. Look at the evidence. Redpillrising.org. I've heard this. I've heard it. Oh yeah, I'm aware. I'm aware. And Rain, we'll bring that up tomorrow. Okay. Thank you for the $5. Since Comcast owns NBC Universal, I'm pretty sure that every Comcast cable and internet subscriber gets counted as a Peacock subscriber. I am pretty sure too, but that would be a lot. Well, is it 10 million? It's more than 10 million. HBO Max only has 4.5 million, and they had 140 million subscribers to HBO worldwide. That's like as much as Netflix. And they didn't go over. So, was it the Armenians? I can't remember. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up there. If I missed a super chat, I'm sorry. I'll make it up tomorrow. I'll probably just read it off tomorrow because I think there's only a couple. So thanks for joining me for almost 3 hours. You guys are brilliant. We had a lot of friggin' people here today, and we still have 3,800 left. That's amazing. 2,800 likes. Thank you so much. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you to all the members. Thank you to According Christie, Eric K, for your wonderful wrench business. Lori Wilson. Anybody else here? Chris Persia, the Canadian wrench. Hail. Nihilist Shadow. Love you guys. I mean, it's tireless, thankless work, and they've been here, some of them, for years. And I thank them all. I thank you all for joining me. I will be back tomorrow at 12 p.m.-ish or 1, something like that, Pacific time for another nooner tomorrow. Well, we'll talk about all the things I didn't get to talk about today. And there's a bunch. Lady Greymaster has like 20 things I can talk about. And I tried to go through as much as I can. Rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. Thoughts and prayers to his family, his kids, who are going through a very, very, losing your dad that way is horrific. But I'll be honest with you, at the end, you're relieved because they're going through so much suffering. You're relieved. And then the missing them part kicks in, and that never goes away. That never goes away. So, but on that note, I thank you all. I am grateful for you all. You have helped me over the last few months. It's been a lot of fun, and these are very therapeutic for me. And I'm sure Hollywood will think of something stupid to do, or something will happen tomorrow that we'll be able to talk about. In the meantime, I've got to make a couple of videos. And if you haven't watched my latest video, which I'm sure you have, you can check it out. I didn't talk about I didn't talk about House of the Dragon. They somebody cast Viserys the First Targaryen, and it's very interesting casting. And Lord of the Rings. I didn't get into the Lord of the Rings in depth. Maybe I'll just make a video on it. I know it's a little late, but I did talk about it last week. But maybe I should make are the SJWs coming for Lord of the Rings? Should I make that video? Because the answer is yes. Maybe I should make that video too. In the meantime, I'll get back to working on Picard. That's what I'm going to do right now. So everyone have a great day. Please like, share, and subscribe. Be good to each other. Remember, not all who wander are lost, and you bow to no one.
Nerdrotic.com.